live in the desert.
Greetings and welcome to Rollstream. I'm RKDM, and these are players. There's Barry, obviously, and then he's the one with the noise in the background. So if you hear that,
That's not me.
Blame him.
It wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Who is that? Who's making that noise?
There was somebody else.
Okay.
It's not me.
Okay. So then behind him we have Charlie, possibly playing Vespera, but we can never be sure. We think so.
Me?
Yeah, oh, well, among other people.
I'm not the one with 3 characters.
Right. And
it
then,
could be somebody impersonating Vespera.
Right. What? Oh my! The questions that open up. Then we have Avery. You can see their names. They're down below. Their character names and their real names may or may not be, in fact, who they're playing. So keep that in mind. But Avery often plays Cinder. Then we have Christina, who always plays Lissa. That's why we love Christina, because we know who she is. So yeah, these are our players. We're playing The Burning Path, which is a campaign set in my custom homebrew campaign setting called Sidariel, which Sidariel looks kind of like that. That's the map. That doesn't look very big. It's not very impressive on screen. But believe me, if I was to stand next to it, it would dwarf me. It is fucking huge. It's like 1.5 meters across. If you're in America, that's like 4 feet or something. It's huge.
It's like, no, 1.5 meters. Like 4 feet's only about 1,200, so it's like 5 feet?
Oh, it's bigger than me.
It's huge. Let's just say that much. It's a huge map. Made in Incarnate and printed by a player that Avery knows, Jerry, in sections. So it was amazing. He also did the Vane Gate map, which is up there as well, which is almost as big. So yeah, anyway, we're in Sidariel, and they're in a place called Turagile, which looks a bit like this.
Transition effects.
Yep, transition effects. Okay.
Not very good transition.
Oh, did you have inspiration, Barry? You don't anymore.
I like the transition effects.
Well, you can have inspiration.
Really?
What?
I said transition effect. I was helping.
You should have inspiration too.
Yeah.
I'm giving
I think
everyone
I
gets
helped
inspiration except for Barry, in fact.
Okay. I think I helped you pick out that theme looking back on it. Because I remember us looking through different Twitch themes, and I think that was one I pointed out as a possibility.
True. Okay. Yeah, you were there. You and Charlie and Barry, I think, were there when we did that. It may or may not have been someone else, but
A time in history I'll never get back.
I just realized I sent you the font file you're using for the Burning Path logo.
that's true. And Avery, we have to thank Avery because he has also given me like a million miniatures lately.
Not as good as mine.
That's true. You have the biggest of the miniatures, although I have one that's probably almost as big, which is an ogre, which he printed for me last week, which was pretty fantastic. So yeah, thank you, Avery, for the miniatures. They are amazing, and I owe you for that. They're fucking great. Hopefully I'll get to use them very soon. Okay, so moving right along. My next minor announcement, and it's not really a minor announcement, but it is not exactly D&D related. I just want to say that I've started, we're in the process of setting up a non-profit organization to help raise money for disabled people, particularly at this point, to help them utilize ubiquitous and existing technology, aka cell phones, because everybody's got a fucking cell phone, and so they can get subscriptions to accounts for things like GPT or Gemini or what have you, so they can get back some of their agency, or obtain agency if they never even had a chance to have it in the first place. And Barry and I have been working on this for a few weeks now. We raised him $640. He now has a team subscription to my GPT account, and he's been doing it for wonders. Barry there are videos on a separate YouTube channel about that if you're interested. And if you want to donate any money, well, follow up because there's links and things. Bloody blah. Always looking for sponsorship and partners and ideas too. So get in touch if that's something that you're interested in. All right, so moving right along. Back to D&D. You're in Turagile. which is the fortress that you have obtained and I was going to say fortified, but you've repaired. And it's out in the Badlands near the city of Dagdagile in the southern part of the continent of Sidariel. Lots of buzzwords. So if you're keeping up, you're doing well. Okay, so you've got, what did we say, a month of downtime is passing as we speak. And during this fast forward flash montage of Turagile, we see all sorts of busy ants running around, building stuff, repairing stuff, doing stuff. The war room is constructed. You're welcome to ping on the map where you think the war room should be.
I don't know about the others, but my Roll20 is still showing the crevasse.
Oh, maybe I have
So
it
in
on
the
wrong-
crevasse.
In the crevasse. That does
just like-
not
I
help.
see.
As like we Rokan didn't like the war room because there wasn't enough food in it, so he just yeeted it in there.
Right. Hold on, I'll get you on the right map. I've got the
That
audience
is not
on the
true.
right map.
Not
Turagile
true at
exterior.
all.
Here we go.
Oh, so there was enough food in the war room.
Of course, there always is when I have
no
food, everybody
fighting
has
in the war room, okay?
No
We're-
war in the war room. That seems rather irrational.
We're going to rename it something at some point, something else, because the war room's a little bit too harsh.
The flower room.
The strategy room.
The tree room.
No, we're gonna have a tree room
The tree room.
already.
There's a different tree room.
It can
Yeah.
be-
What if we had the war room in the tree room?
right. It could be an arbitorium.
I know what to call it. We can call it the place where we plan to kill all our enemies.
That is actually a good name.
How is that better than war room?
Why would we take them to the war room?
For an orc. Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Right, now where was I? Over here. We'll go back to our bigger zoomy thing so we can see each other properly. That's better. I can see your faces now. So the thing is, I don't actually watch the Zoom, which is a shame because it's much bigger. But I have to watch the Twitch stream on Streamlabs, which has you all much smaller. So you're like this big instead of this big. Just sad in so many ways. I can't see Barry's pretty face up close, but you know, I still watch you guys. I'm watching. I'm paying attention.
okay, well, is this the right? Okay, I always. Do you have the other map, the one where you could see inside Turagile?
I do, yes. You want to see the interior? So that one just covers
Yeah.
this building, basically. It doesn't cover the rest of it, but yes.
Yeah, I
let
need the one
me-
with just that building.
Just that building. Okay, Turagile interior.
This is really pretty, though. I haven't seen this one.
I know I have it. Here it is.
Okay.
Is this what you're talking about?
This is definitely a newer one than I remember. There
Yeah,
was
the one you last would have recalled was would have been one I did in a vector program. It would have been black and white.
Yeah, I think this is. I don't think I've seen this one, but it does appear to have the same basic layout.
Yeah.
well, there was a
not
room
exactly
on
the same.
top of this room.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
you can
That's
you
right.
can just
there
make
is.
out the edge along here.
These
I
are
thought
the,
that would
these are
be
the
kinda
stairs that-
nice,
These are the stairs that go up there. So it's like a mezzanine above here.
I thought on the mezzanine would be a good place to put the war room.
Perfect.
Um,
Makes sense to me, but you choose.
Yeah.
You guys.
That's what I think, anyway. Any objections? Objections overruled. Don't worry. No.
Objections overruled. Just like that. And the
Yeah,
decision,
just like that.
The decision was made. Okay. I remember that this room up here, which the audience can't see. I wonder if I can bring up the map on there. Oh, fuck it, I'll just bring out the big map.
Okay.
This room up here is the room where you fought something.
Yeah, it was like
writing
it was a
now.
demon that kind of shape changed or something.
That's right. You know what? I think it was a BBBB.
Bargalest or something.
Yeah, something like that. It was. Oh, I can't think of the name. Anyway, yeah, one of the fiends. Anyway, that's not really important right now. So what are you guys doing? You're getting through all the things you wanted to do in the meanwhile. Vancouver by night. Hey, Lissa Manu and Feral Artificer. So there you go.
So, Vespero will be in here with a whole bunch of children.
Okay.
And we'll all have baskets in our hands.
Aw.
And Yeah, and Vespera is tasking all the children to if you find someone that you think is doing a great job, or if you think they need just a smile, um, you know, gift them with a flower.
Aw.
Off
Okay.
you go, run
Okay.
wild,
So then, I, I,
scatter.
I don't really know how to roleplay that.
That's a lot of people to.
That's probably all we need to know.
Yep. So
Okay.
I
Any,
will.
anything to get those children to stop chasing my tail. Yeah.
Stall.
Oh.
Okay, so we should probably do a quick outline of who we're playing this evening. I'm going to start with you, Lissa, because you're easier. It's much more straightforward dealing with you. That's what I love about you. Go on, give us an outline. Who is Lissa Manu?
She's a draconic sorceress of Silver Dragon descent.
Yep.
More.
And she
What
takes care of a baby silver dragon.
Yep. And the baby silver dragon is
Asteria.
Asteria. Yep. And her, so Asterius is the mother, isn't it? Or is that
Yes.
Asteria? Am I getting them confused? I always get them confused. Hold on.
I call her Astra, short, the baby
Astraea.
dragon.
Astraea, yeah. As opposed to like,
Astraea.
yeah, not Australia, like the place across the Tasman, Australia, which is where Steve Irwin came from, mate.
Crikey dick.
Crikey dick, mate. We're not talking about Australia, we're talking about Australia, the silver dragon.
Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool.
She's my patron.
Right, and now you've recently discovered that your magic staff that was given to you by Astrea, one of those names, has unlocked some powers. Namely, it was able to shatter the rock, the star, the black star that had fallen, the Harbinger Stone, the prequel to Parkard 2. That's a bit of an oxymoron. Anyway, yes, you guys know what I'm talking about. The audience is going, what the fuck is that guy on about? But yeah, so it was able to do that and freed the dragon from being pinned underneath this comet at the bottom of the chasm in the Badlands. So there's that. It seems to be more powerful than you realized. Now, Avery's been kind of harassing me this week about getting him some details about the stuff so he can homebrew it up. And
I just thought I was just trying to make your job easier.
I know, I am totally just taking the piss.
Okay.
When I say you're harassing, I never mean these things. You must know that. But what I do want to say is, like, my personal style of DMing, I really try to hold on to the opportunities to not necessarily give everything away, partly because it's more of a mystery, but more importantly because then I can fuck with it at the last minute. And it gives me that opportunity to do things like say, hey, this staff has a power that does this thing, and maybe it's prophesized, maybe it only works once, maybe it will never work again in that way, but maybe it will do something else. And so it opens it up to the narrative in that sense. But that being said, this is D&D, and players have expectations. So I'm trying to find a balance between giving it all these powers and saying this is what they are, and it has this many charges that work this many times, and all that kind of stuff, and being able to just be a little bit freeform with it, which I like to be able to do. But yeah, anyway, that's another discussion. We'll come back to that. So in the meantime, all you need to know, Lissa, is that your staff has more powers than you know about, and they will unlock as we go forward. Some of them will be mechanical ones that we can nail down. Some of them will be things that will just happen, and they might never happen again. Is everybody okay?
Whacking a star.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as everybody's good with that, and they're not going to throw rotten tomatoes at me,
I haven't got
Yeah.
any to throw.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to throw rotten tomatoes. It's just you have to remember that I am autistic and I do have a habit of taking things a bit literally.
Oh, that's
And
fair.
yeah,
I'm a bit autistic too, but I
Yeah.
take it. Yeah, and we
No,
all
fair-
have our quirks, right?
No, fair enough. I'm just offering an explanation.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Cool. All right. So moving along, we have a checklist, kind of, sort of the things that we wanted to do during this downtime.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. If you're talking about the channel in the Discord, that's just like more general and specifically downtime. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. Now, current major plot threads. Number one, of course, is the Barakyle Dominion conflict. So this ongoing struggle between the Burning Path, which is your group of rebels who have located themselves at Turagile Fortress in the Badlands,
And Hilltop.
and the Hilltop. Yep. Versus the Barakyle Dominion, who are a bunch of red wizards living on an island nation, a magocracy, not unlike the red wizards of Thay, but not exactly the same. They are a little bit differently flavored and have slightly different goals and things. And they're busy going around the world trying to take over the world through diplomatic means. At least that's how it looks. But, magic diplomatic means, so probably not really all that diplomatic when it comes right down to it. Your next main plot thread, you've been talking about finding Balin. And to recap Balin now, Balin is an NPC that I haven't used for a long time, so I had to really think about this just to remember who the hell he was. So what I've managed to reconstruct, and tell me if you know anything that I have forgotten or have left out, but Balin is an elven wizard who is an advisor to the Assembly of Princes that you have discovered he has gone missing. You suspect he's been abducted by the Barakyle Dominion due to his vocal opposition and valuable knowledge. And that is to say, vocal opposition against the Barakyle. That was outspoken against them in the early days of their arrival in Dag Dagile. Spoke out against them at the Assembly, and not too long after that, he's disappeared. Yep.
I would like to say Ferlt. One thing that I would add is Ferlt was able to get a message to him, and Balin sent a message through sending back saying that basically he was in the Barakyle custody and it was too dangerous to go after him.
Right, so he's pretty much warned you not to try and find him, didn't he?
Yeah. And now I think we're strong enough to ignore that warning.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you've done a lot of damage to the Barakyle, let's be fair. You've taken out several of their ships now, amongst other things. And
Just straight up, it's just stolen one of them.
Stolen one of them, foiled many of their plans, killed at least one, was it a black dragon that came to take out Turagile?
Yeah, that's in addition to the one that was under Turagile.
Yeah, to be fair, that wasn't Barakyle. But yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Kemphothax. Okay, so current status, you're yet to determine his location in order to rescue Balin. His disappearance has become a significant concern. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so transformation of the mythal and protection of Turagile. So this is a recent sort of thing. Turagile, as the players know, has been protected by a mythal, which is ancient elven high magic that has been here for many, many thousands of years. And it has, up until now, it stops any kind of dragon or draconic form from entering the mythal. It's like a force field around Turagile Fortress. However, recently, Asteris, after being clonked by the falling star, has come up with a way to change that mythal so that she can enter the city, the fortress. And on top of that, she has fixed the Ostorian Gate, the magical portal that is in the Undercroft of Turagile, restored it so that it is now operational. So that's useful, and further to that, the mythal has been transformed so that anyone outside of a 1 mile radius of the fortress will find the fortress to be invisible. So it just appears to be not there to anyone who's standing anywhere outside of 1 mile. So you have to get pretty close to it in order to see it. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right, so the mythal protection of Turagile. So now you've also got like the integration and training of new allies. So we recently had Storm and Smoke turn up. This is Barry's character Storm and his offsider Smoke. They came from a city or an island called Ixtlan, and they are Tabaxi or Tabaxi if you, depending on how you say it. I discovered it's actually pronounced Tabaxi because it's a South American word from South America and it has pronunciation stuff. So Tabaxi. So they're Tabaxi and they come from Ixtlan. Ixtlan was a volcanic island that has sunk, and as far as they're aware, they're the last of the Tabaxi in the world. And that's how they view it, because they haven't met any other Tabaxi of their kind. There's a rumor that there's one other who they were pursuing for quite a while, but they've kind of given up on that at this point. So they've just come all the way from a different campaign, the Vaingate Chronicles, and joined this campaign. They were in the Orcan Empire, the Ungor Ma'ark, and they've come all the way here to join up with the Burning Path at the behest of the rebel leader Kagi Mingal, a matriarchal rebel leader of the Orcs, breakaway tribe, the Mingali. And so they've come here all the way from there, long way, all the way around the rift, the Parkard Rift. And having gotten here, they've delivered a message from Kagi Mingal, which includes a stolen missive written in Barakyle Abyssal. That's their native tongue, those dirty wizards. And so they have deciphered this missive and found out some information about the Barakyle that they did not previously know. So hopefully that will be useful to them. Hurricane Storm is a ranger, Tabaxi ranger, Barry, and his offsider, Smoke, is a slightly younger Tabaxi druid. And she's usually pretty quiet, but she's quite a powerful healer. So, are there any other plot points or threads you guys want to talk about before anything happens?
The spirit really,
I
the spirit
agree.
really wants to go and find her fam.
Her fam.
So it's, yeah,
Her only fams.
yeah.
Oh.
So it's something she would probably be asking about, like, do you guys want to go? Are you ready? Can we go?
Right.
But
You want to go to
I
Tenfield?
can wait. Yeah.
Okay, so Vespera is a wildfire druid, and she comes from a place called Tempioth, which is an island nation, a little bit like Ixtlan, has volcanoes on it. One of them, Mount Bennu, named after the great phoenix Bennu Azoth, is where the wildfire druids call their home.
It's where they came from, but they are living in a swamp currently.
Yeah, surrounding the volcano, there are swamps. Right, and so they belong to what is essentially the cult of Bennu Azoth, this phoenix, and this phoenix is connected to Israel, the arch-lich prophet from long ago, in ways that are more complicated than we want to get into right now. So yeah. Okay, so you're considering going back to there using tree stride, essentially, is that right? Or
It is
sorry,
I don't know.
transport via plants.
what a fucking long-winded and dumb name for a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alyssa's casting spells. Nice. Okay.
That's cool.
So, yep. Avery, were you going to add?
Yeah, Lotharian, basically, he wants to, now that we've got the portal stabilized, he wants to go back to Vaingate and make official contact with the Daughters of Twilight and try and negotiate something more formal than, hey, we know that each other exists.
Right. Okay, well, so I can see there's sort of there needs to be a conversation about whether you're going to Tempioth or Vaingate. I'm going to weigh in here and say that I am way more prepared for Vaingate than Tempioth. That being said, if you have reasons that make sense, I can improvise.
I can wait. It's fine.
Yeah. Also, I think Lotharian might have heard how much Vespera likes dragon breath and suggested that we might find dragon's breath in Van Gate.
Okay. Um,
But that's just a thought.
Right. Okay.
I'm just picking my spells.
Picking your spells.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So
You can pick your spells, but don't pick your nose.
Ooh.
You can do both
So where
at the same time.
Where did I put my spell components?
Hang on. I got her nose of holding.
Nose of holding. Oh dear. Nose
Okay.
of picking. Okay, cool. All right, so what do you want to do in the immediate future? Does anything else? Because we did talk about some extensive stuff on that list of downtime.
I think
sure that
basic.
we covered it all.
Yeah, it wasn't part of the downtime list, but one thing we did discuss is we kind of talked about seeing what the Book of Prophecies said about some of the other characters that we didn't have read from it.
Okay, yep.
But that's only if we have time.
Do you guys want to do that now? I can do that.
I find that to be boring. We've already spent like 32
Okay.
minutes getting
Okay,
this
yeah,
started.
okay.
Let's get the show
Let's
on the road.
worry about that another time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, what are you doing right now? It's been a month.
You know what? I'm
Miss
getting those
Farah?
kids to go around. Yeah. Yes. Whomever is talking, very hard to tell.
Yeah,
Who are you playing?
it's me. Storm.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. So, workshop,
Alright.
war room is set up. Fortifications and repair are well underway. Integration and training definitely has happened. Training is underway. It's been going on for a while now. Personal training, improving individual skills and abilities, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Strategic planning, intelligence gathering. You know that there are more boats from Barakyle traveling around the Badlands. At least one more boat seems to be patrolling in the Badlands or around the Badlands. You have, over this time, plans to make... You've had time to make plans for missions and operations. I don't know whether there's any plans or operations that you have specifically, but maybe the Vanegate trip is one of them. Done the missile, done the gates. Integration of new members, done. Education programs, yes, that's now operating. You have basically got a mini school going in the town in Turagile. Resource planning and allocation, steady supply of resources. I think you fixed the well by now. In fact, that was connected to the
we
gate
did.
anyway.
Yeah.
Economic development. Developing the local economy and ensuring self-sufficiency. That is happening. Don't know if it's entirely there yet.
Yeah, stuff like that takes longer than a month.
Yeah, and also trading with a town that's invisible is tricky.
Yeah, I feel like we're sending out our people to do trading.
Right, and then they come back and bring wagons back and try and avoid being followed. Okay. All right, well, with all of that done, whatever you're doing right now, what are you doing right now?
I'm going to say, if we're doing the Vanegate trip, I'm going to be playing Lotharian. I think he's just kind of like, right now, he's just... he's found some people to spar with, kind of like partly training, partly sparring, and just going over their weapons, instructing them in the basics.
Okay.
I don't know about the others, though.
Rokan, Zor, Storm, what are you doing at the moment?
Storm. Vespera?
Yes, Storm? Here's
Where
a
do you want
flower,
me-
by the way. There you go.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Where do you want me to put this table?
Table? Is that the
Yes.
one for the room up there?
That is the one for the room up there, yes.
Okay. Yeah, follow me.
Uh,
Come on.
okay. Well,
How are you carrying that? Do you need a hand?
I don't need a hand. But it's a nice table, I have to say.
Uh, that's wonderful. It looks wonderful from here, but I'd have to see it put down. So yes, out of game, I'm going to escort Storm up to the top area, the mezzanine floor.
There's an awful lot of stairs, Vesper.
I didn't make it.
Uh,
Maybe we can install a slide at some point.
a slide.
I was only joking. We're not going to do that. No,
All right, all right.
just here.
Okay. Yeah. It's a nice suit of armor there. Okay.
You're being very awkward, Storm.
Well,
Okay, I just
I've
posted
never
some-
been this far up.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Storm, you were... Was it Storm? Who was it building a rookery? That was Rokan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Rokan.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Keep going.
You know, Rokan's building a rookery.
That is lovely. Honestly, good. Gives him something to do that's not, eating.
Where's Lissa while this is happening? Does Lissa walk out onto the tower where they are?
No,
No? What's she doing?
she's out with Goran chasing down horses because Blackfire got restless and let all the horses out.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So you're just out wrangling. That makes sense. Okay, so
That's hilarious.
all right, so you guys can see Lissa down on the plain in the Badlands in the Turagile Gulch, racing around on Blackfire, trying to round up the horses. Can I get you guys to make perception checks, please? The two of you, Barry and Charlie.
Okay.
Suppose, Barry, I'm rolling your perception check for you.
21.
Yep. Okay, 21.
Mhm.
Well, that's very good. Burning Path. View
Some
campaign.
may say I'm... Actually, how did I roll? I rolled a performance. Okay. Plus another 4 to that.
25. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
Crikey dick. So you're playing Storm, Barry, aren't you?
Yes.
So I'm making a perception check for Storm. Storm perception is +4. And that is a massive 9. So you're listening to the conversation and you're watching Lissa at the moment riding around, probably sort of, I don't know, critiquing her
Naughty
horsemanship.
horse.
Yeah. And Vespera, what you notice is in the distance, far in the distance, about 1.5 miles to 2 miles away, a figure on another horse, glinting with armor, out in the desert of the Badlands in the direction of the quarry.
Okay. Storm, can you hold on a moment? I'm gonna run down the stairs, run through the hall.
Oh,
I'm going
good. I
to-
can just stand here and hold this table all day. Yes,
I'm gonna
good.
make my way to I know Cinder has his horse, his flame horse, which I'm very impressed with. So I'm gonna run down the stairs to him.
Okay, I just remind you, I'm not playing Cinder today.
Well, guess what? No, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, I don't have to.
Well,
Yeah.
Cinder could be away on a trip.
Yeah, he could be off hunting gnolls again.
Makes sense.
Okay. In that case,
Cinder's on a knoll hunt.
Yeah, it's basically his only hobby aside from blacksmithing.
Right.
to be safe, I'm going to go to an alarm bell that we. Oh, they won't be able to see us, surely. Okay.
You hope.
Yeah. If so, does noise carry through as well?
Hang on, you got a 25 on that perception check, didn't you?
Yeah.
I can say that the mounted individual on that horse is kind of walking around in circles on the road, as if they were confused.
Okay. I'm going. I guess I'm. The fuck am I going to do? Okay. Okay. I think I'll just keep an eye out at the
At the tower?
at the door of the at the gates. At the
The
gates.
gates.
Yeah, run out to the gates. I'm gonna keep an eye out. I will ask soldiers that are there to I guess be vigilant
Uh-huh.
about this person. And I'll be staring, keeping my eyes out.
Okay, so when you go down onto the ground floor, you can't see them. You're not high enough to see over the various obstacles that
Oh,
there are between here and this individual.
okay. In that case, I'll get everyone to remain alert.
Okay, so Lothari and well, Lissa, you're out. You will have gotten word that Vespera is alerting Turagail to the presence of an outsider on the road.
Would you like me to go and investigate?
Perhaps you should speak with Vespera first, says Saduka.
Yeah, I was sorry, out of character. I meant that to Vespera.
Did you come out to see me then?
Sorry, I forgot to say when I
We can assume you do.
yeah, I kind of assumed that it went without saying that if I'm alerted that I went out to see her.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello, Lotharian. Honestly, I want to go out there, too. So if you're going out there, I'm going with you.
Very well then.
Excellent.
And Lotharian grabs his steed and mounts up.
Yep, and I will join him.
Mm.
Hello.
I'm gonna point out that the horses are out there.
Right, now, quick question
Oh,
for you,
no.
Lissa.
I might want to point out to you that Lotharian's steed is a summoned creature at which he can command telepathically.
Okay.
So, question for you, Lissa. You're chasing these horses around. Do you think they are within a mile of Turagail, or are you spread out more than that?
Yeah, they're not gonna go far.
Okay, so you're
Blackfire would have kept them within the.
right. So you're still within the
area.
mythal zone. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah, she's just rounding them out. She's gonna be heading in, and she'll notice a horse pull away. So she's been alerted. So she's gonna be heading in.
okay,
And she'll
Alright.
pull up alongside these two, and that's what's going on.
all right. So Lissa pulls up and she says,
What's going on? Why are you guys heading out?
I saw a person, fine armor. He's waiting over there, over the dunes. And unfortunately, I can't see him from here. I don't know if he's still there, but he was heading round in circles as if he was confused. So I think perhaps he wants to see us, but he can't find us. Maybe, I don't know, but you know, I'm wary. So we're going to head out.
Okay,
Could you go?
I'll join ya.
Could you
I'll
go
join
grab
ya.
Storm and join us? Would that be okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go get him.
Okay, thank you.
Where's
Right.
Jesus being?
so she goes off to go and get Storm
yeah.
while you guys dally at the gates for a minute.
Yeah. Vespera, did you happen to note the color of their armor?
Yes, probably with the 25. What
At that
color
range,
was his
I think
armor?
color would be
Where is
pretty
Storm?
difficult to note at that range. You could barely make out a silhouette. You could see
Okay.
you saw the glint of the sun briefly off them, which suggested that they had metallic
I'll just assume you do.
something. Could have been a
Biz-
spear, could have been a shoulder plate or a pauldron or a helmet, or it could have been a shield, but it might have been none of that. It might have been a ring or an amulet or something.
Unfortunately, no, Lotharian.
Very well then.
Okay, Lissa, you find Storm.
Listen, you come to
Storm,
tell me what to
Storm.
do with this table. Where do you want me to put the table?
Just put it down for now. We need your help.
Okay. He puts it down. What's the problem?
Apparently, the figure out there in armor, Vistera wants to go in, meet this person.
Oh, well. I'm on
The
my
horses are
way.
back.
I'm on my way.
Let's go.
He quickly
Lotharian?
makes his way down the stairs now.
Yes?
I remount a naughty horse. You're still naughty, Blackfire.
before Storm gets back,
Yes?
how do you think Storm was made?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Like the birds and the bees do not apply in this case. I don't think.
Well,
I don't understand.
We have seen a male and a female of his race.
I know, but
I imagine the gods had a hand in it.
that's what I'm thinking because nature doesn't work like that.
Vespera, my people came from a god bleeding.
I know. Okay, yeah. Honestly, it has to be some sort of divine intervention, right? Surely.
I believe most intelligent races come from some divine intervention.
So see, like, I mean, they stand like humans.
Honestly, I suspected them of being some sort of fae when I first saw them.
I'll have to, maybe that's rude. Maybe I shouldn't ask.
I believe Smoke might be better to breach the subject with, since she is interested in you as a druid.
Oh, I see. Yeah, probably. Are they? Oh, look, they're here. Oh, look at that.
Okay.
And Storm didn't bring the table.
Storm and Lissa arrive. And now there's the four of you. Okay. Great. So.
Hello. Let's get going.
Hello.
All right.
All right. So you clip your horses, so to speak, and off you go out into the desert. And as you get over the nearest hill, and you can see a little bit further beyond the range of where you could see on the ground earlier, you can make perception checks. Vespera, you have advantage because you saw this before and you know where to look.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
24.
A 24. Crikey. Crikey, dick,
20.
mate. A
Hey,
20.
amazing.
Very nice. Hurricane Storm, perception. That's another 9.
Yeah.
Storm, why are you doing so badly at making perception checks? It hurts my soul.
Well, I think he's just having an off day.
He's having an off day. Fair enough. Okay, he must be distracted by something going on in his life.
Well,
Been here for a month.
yeah.
He hasn't killed anyone lately. Maybe that's it.
No.
Anyway, as you look out into the distance, what did you get, Lotharian?
9.
Oh, you're right up there with Storm.
Well, I think Lotharian has somebody riding behind him. I think he's just focusing on, not falling into a pit or a ravine or something. This is rough terrain.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so as you look out across the desert at this point, you come over the hill, and Vespera and Lissa, you two notice that this individual is wearing the signature wyvern-clad armor of a wyvern-clad warrior or guardsman.
Does he have a helmet on or something?
He does have a helmet on, and a shield, and a spear, and a horse.
A spear. It's definitely not Drazan, because he uses a sword.
Why do you say that he's definitely not Drazan?
Is it Drazan?
As you get closer,
He
it might
never
be
uses
Drazan.
a spear.
I think Drazan uses whatever weapon best suits the encounter.
Drazan,
Occasion.
just because he's holding a spear does not mean he does not have a sword.
Okay.
So as you
Just
approach
getting my
further,
hopes up.
suddenly he kind of suddenly recognizes you appearing out of nowhere, and his horse and himself are both somewhat startled, and he throws back his visor like that,
Oh my god, it is.
and it is Drazan. Vespera, I found you. How did you find me here? I was looking for Turagail, but I appear to be lost. I thought there was no way I could lose myself out here. I've been here before at least twice.
Turagail is hidden.
What do you mean it's hidden? How can a fortress of the scale and mass of Turagail be hidden? By what?
How can a person use invisibility? How can a person
No.
conjure a storm?
You have found a way to make the fortress invisible? That is remarkable.
Well, not me. We use. I wish.
He reins in the horse a moment, as the horse seems to be getting nervous as you approach for some reason. Calm. He, you notice that he clocks Storm, and he doesn't quite freak out, but he's very cautious all of a sudden, and he stops talking.
So everyone, this is Jazan. If you haven't been introduced, Jazan, this is Storm. Storm is a friend.
Greetings, Storm. I am Drazan, as you've heard. I extend my hand.
And he extends his claw.
Drazan rides up next to you and just shakes, like clasps your wrist.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Jazan,
I have seen you.
What do you mean you've seen me?
I've seen you from a distance. I used to live where you live.
Dag the Guile?
Yes.
Interesting. You do seem to fit the description I have heard of a strange creature inhabiting the city some time ago.
Yeah. I am that creature, yes.
I suppose you must be. Did you not have ties with... The horse is getting a bit frisky again. Do you not have ties with Lady Mahadur?
Absolutely. I was her protector.
Ah, yes, I know the one of whom you speak. It makes sense now. So, you have made... Well, look, why are we standing here in the desert? You say the place has been made invisible. Can we not intrude? Can we pass within?
just follow us.
Let us not have this conversation in the open then. Onwards, I say.
Before we go any further,
Sorry.
Lothlorien just says, "If I may," and casts a spell quickly. Detect evil and good.
You detect good?
Basically, it's just
quite
like
how it
I'm
works.
just trying to see if there's any aberrations, celestials, elemental, fey, or fiends, or undead within 30 feet of him.
You do
That
not.
isn't
Okay.
Vespera.
Basically, yeah, just like checking for invisible closets within range, brain worms, that sort of thing.
Brainworms. Yep.
You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean, and I think that's very smart. And it doesn't work because there isn't any.
Well, better to burn a spell slot and find that out.
Yeah, now you know for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Very good. Okay, so he who has he not met before? He hasn't met Melissa either, has he?
I don't think he's met anybody except Vesper. Well, he might have met Lothlorien, actually. I think he has.
That's true.
He
Like,
met actually, you guys met him in the city, didn't you? In Dag the Isle, just before you went, you delivered him a tree.
I think he's met Lothlorien once.
Right.
did Lissa meet him? I'm not sure. Did you
I
go through the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through the tree.
Yeah.
Then you would have
yeah.
met him.
Okay, so you guys have all met before. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, then.
Lothlorien carried the damn tree.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
And why were they carrying trees? Says the audience to themselves. What on earth would that have possibly been about?
A greener planet.
Greener
Druids.
planet, druids, and
Being
also,
environmentally friendly.
and also that extraordinarily big mouthful of a spell name.
It's not even that bad.
What is it again?
It's transport via
via
plants.
plants. Could have been like
Transport via plants.
tree portal. Tell.
What about investiture of flame?
But that sounds cool.
Okay.
At least it sounds
Okay.
cool. If you're gonna have a long-winded name, you could at least make it sound cool. Anyway.
All right.
All right. So
That's-
you turn the horses
good.
around and you go back to Turagail.
As Vis is riding with Lothlorien, occasionally she'll look over to Jason.
You can make an insight check.
Okay. 17.
You can see that despite his the fact that he's pleased to see you all, and he's no longer confused about what the hell happened to the fortress. Beyond that, there seems to be a ongoing deep sense of loss within him. That he is trying to contain his pain.
Okay, I will create Theo on my back tattoo.
Okay, so your tattoo blossoms out into and becomes a flaming moth, about a foot wide.
Theo,
It pops out from you, and
could you go over and just comfort Jazan, please?
it's like,
Thank you. Off you go.
all right. So Theo flops through the air over to
I
Drazan,
appreciate that.
and it does indeed bring a smile to his face. And he visibly, it seems to remind him of something, and he nods to himself, and the moth lands on his arm, and you guys ride into Turagile. Very good. And so all of the people of Turagile come out to have a look to see what's going on. Some of the kids are like, "Oh, Theo's out! Theo's out! Let's see Theo!" You know, and
Yeah.
so Drazan says to you all, "So, you've made the fortress invisible, and I see you've collected some new friends."
That we have. Lots of people from lots of different locations. We've got people that were once slaves, and we've got people that were part of Skagaran's envoy, and we've got clerics, and we've got lots of people from everywhere.
I see that. Most excellent. That is good. And you are keeping them safe. I understand the towns of the Badlands have been, well, leveled, and at this point there is great conflict within the Assembly of Princes at Dagdagile. They choose not to believe the truth, and they will not listen to the truth. They believe these conflicts have arisen from Gnoll attacks. They think it is Gnolls that have burnt down their villages and towns. So, I have heard reports to the contrary. In fact, I believe you might have told him some of those reports. It's quite likely when you visited him, and you had time. Further to this, my own personal losses have become such that I have no longer am I able to contain my need for vengeance. I must act now. You and your burning path are the most poignant method for me to achieve these goals. I have given up my captaincy at the Wyvern-clad Guard. I have found a suitable replacement for myself, someone I trust, who will continue to feed us intelligence and information, and give us entry to places that we could not otherwise go. So, with this replacement made, I have left the Wyvern-clad for good. I have given away my possessions or sold them, and I bring to you this small chest that remains of my wealth, which I offer to the Burning Path as a commitment. I now stand with you forevermore. My life is yours.
Whisper is so happy, but like sad at the same time. It's a conflicting emotion.
Lotharian just looks at him with this expression that just says, "I know exactly what you're going through."
He nods back to you. He gets off his horse, and presumably at this point you have a stable hand, probably trained by Lissa.
I'm kind of imagining that half-orc she brought back.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Goron.
What was his name?
Goron.
Right.
Boron?
It was while I was away. She and Zor brought him back.
Ah,
Yeah, they
amazing.
ran
We
into a
rescued
stable
him.
hand and they made friends with him and brought him back. Yeah, he was a little. He was being kind of abused by he was a human, wasn't it? In Dag the Guile. He was a indentured servant who owed a lot of money to the stable, and so he was paying it back over a period of years of work. And so these guys paid off his debt and got him out of servitude and brought him back to Turugale.
Oh, it's amazing. That's really wonderful.
Right, so Boran takes the horses and leads them off to the stable, at least those that will listen to him. Blackfire.
Yeah.
Well, like Spitfire.
I think
Behave yourself.
Lotharian's horse just
Shake
walks
hands
in
and
on his own.
Right, Lotharian's horse is just like...
Shazan, I'm gonna gather the children up, the ones like handing out the flowers. Come on, everyone. This gentleman here, he needs the most flowers.
Oh, no, it's well. It's
Give
well.
him all the flowers you could give him.
Very well. Take your
So there's
flowers.
like a whole bunch of children just surrounding him.
He
Believe me, I know how you feel.
he bends down next to one
Poor
of them.
Storm.
You
Pet
remind me so
Storm.
much of my boy Levitus. What is your name, child? And they have a conversation, and he starts to get to know them and what have you. I have one more question for you. Do you have food in this place?
Do we have food?
Well, that depends on if Rokan has managed to eat it all in the time he's been left alone.
Rokan. Where is Rokan? I have not seen him for months.
I imagine he is around somewhere. He could be in the rookery or in the pantry.
Why not combine them together?
I am not surprised if he does. You know, gets a dumb waiter from one to the other.
Of course.
Would you like a good berry?
That would be well, yes. Thank you.
There you go.
It has been so long since I've had one of your most excellent good berries.
Well,
Eats it.
not everyone gets one, so you should feel very, very important.
We should sit and talk somewhere quiet.
We have a new table, don't we, Storm?
Yes, we do.
Let's go there.
Who now is your High Council of Elders? Or if you have a name or such for such a committee of leaders?
Well, we haven't figured that one out yet.
I see.
My interpretation has been that cementing the function is more important than providing a name.
Yes, I agree. Not a problem, of course. I merely wish to summon your leaders together, for I have some information that might be of some interest.
All right. So why don't you take Drazan up to the table, up to the war room in quotations. I really don't like that term. Storm, do you want to help me find the others? Like Sarduka and maybe Felt?
It would bring me
Maybe
great
Cinder as
pleasure.
well?
Yes.
It would also bring me great pleasure to see Avery play 3 characters at once.
All right, let's go.
All right. Oh, and Zor as well. So, yeah, Visper and Storm will go and have a look for the others and listen, Lotharian.
I'll take him up to the room.
Okay.
And along the way, stop by and get him something to eat.
It's true. What will you feed Drazan?
Whatever's in the pantry, whoever's cooking.
So nothing? Because Rokan's eat it all?
I mean,
Yeah.
Rokan could have been cooking something in the pantry.
I I will cook something. Ah, what are you doing here? You're a
Ah,
long way from home, my old friend. Would you like a sandwich?
Greetings, Lord Rokan. How long it has been would I like a sandwich from you? Yes, sir. Of course I should take a
Ah,
sandwich from
I've
you.
got a good one here. Here we go. It was for me, but I'll sacrifice it for you.
Well, if it was for you, I trust not its contents.
Wait a minute, what's that I smell? Hang on. What's it I smell? You've been eating good berries.
You are very, very perceptive, Lord Rokan. How long
Well,
it
where
has
is she
been.
giving them out?
I believe she is, yes. You should ask her.
I'll see you later. Here's the sandwich.
She's carrying a small...
wait a minute. We're supposed to convene at the war room.
Oh, hang on. Wait, no. Give me the sandwich. Give me the sandwich. Here, we'll cut it down the middle. One for you, one for me. Here. I've been learning to cook the, what can I say, the elven way. Yes. And I'm pretty good, aren't I, Lissa?
Yes.
I'm pretty good at cooking the elven way. Say yes, Lissa, say yes.
Yes.
So you can trust that sandwich. After all, I'm eating it.
You eat anything.
That is true. This sandwich lacks one thing. Good berries. Okay, war room, you say.
Yes.
All right. Gotta go up all those stairs. Okay. All right.
Hey, it's easy for you. I have the robes on. I have to lift them up and if I go.
It's true. It's true.
All right, so everybody gathers, I take it?
We will go grab the others as well. So everyone that we would consider a leader.
Right. Have you guys got a list of Turugile NPCs?
I think you sent me a provisional list a while back, but it probably needs to be updated.
Okay.
While you're looking for that, I will be right back. Entertain us, everyone.
Entertain us. Are you not
Quick.
entertained?
Quick, someone learn how to juggle.
Right. Somebody learn how to juggle indeed. Okay. Alright, so we have no Vespera for a minute, so she's off doing things.
She's off getting people.
She's off getting people, right, of course. She's off getting the people who I'm supposed to be looking up. Alright, so you have with you some scribes and scholars. Elira Quillshade, Thormund Inkwall, some labourers. I don't know if you want the labourers here.
Probably not. Probably like, I'm kind of imagining like people in positions, like high positions. So I'm kind of imagining Sarduka might be there.
Yep, that would make sense.
Maybe like whoever was like did the mayor of Tarnok come with us?
The mayor of Tarnok. Well, you got some elders from Tarnok, yeah.
Okay, like maybe the elders from Tarnok. And I can't think of anybody else. Christina, any input?
There was a cleric from Tarnok, which.
Oh, the cleric.
Yeah,
oh, also,
cleric.
do we still have the cleric Skargaran sent with us?
Yes.
Yeah,
so basically, yeah, the clerics as well, probably.
Okay.
Ah, yes, the clerics. The ones I've been trying to avoid the entire time I've been back.
To be fair, Cinder's also been avoiding them.
Okay.
Fair.
Guess I know who I'm in between.
Does the name Isidore ring a bell?
That does sound familiar.
Isidore Falcon?
Possibly.
That was the cleric, I think, right?
Oh, that definitely sounds like a cleric name. If you're relying on my memory for names, we're gonna have a problem.
That's reasonable.
Like, I remember really specific arcane stuff that I shouldn't remember, but then stuff that I actually is important. It's like file not found.
File not found. File corrupted. Okay, I'm gonna put some names into the Discord chat for you.
Yep.
So these are the people that you gather together. That's what I got so far. If you can think of anybody else, we'll just keep adding them to the list. In any case, these are the ones that turn up right now. And then we have Rokan and Storm. We have Lotharian and Ferelt.
Ferelt would definitely be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zor, are you there?
We would have gone to get Cinder anyway.
Yeah,
Cinder.
I'm there. I'm there.
Well, Cinder's out chasing
hunting gnolls. Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean,
I think Cinder's like started collecting their left ears. Just like so, he doesn't show anybody. It's just like to know. It's just so he can keep a tally.
Zor might be out with him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. If that's all right.
Works for me.
Yep.
They can both fight in darkness, and the gnolls can't see, so it's a good tactic.
Right. Okay. So you collect around, and Drazan's busy stuffing his face with sausages.
When we sit at
my sandwich was good enough.
We'll bring out like a whole bunch of chairs as well because we brought the table. But yeah, we'll set it all up so everyone has a place to sit. We haven't. I don't think we've inlaid it yet.
We might not even have chairs. We might just have like benches at this stage.
All right. Thank you. I look at Lotharian. Thank you. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the very first Burning Path meeting. I look at Lotharian.
I suppose so.
Word? Gathering. Is that the right word, Lotharian?
I believe it's appropriate for now. Let us not get ourselves hung up on nomenclature. And I'm going to say in the background, Ferlt has his alchemy jug, and he is pouring an improbable amount of beer out of this little jug.
I didn't know you were suffering so much, Ferlt.
No, he's filling everybody's cups.
Oh, I thought he was filling his own cup.
No. Like, because it's like, it looks like it should hold a gallon, but it can, if it's beer, it can produce up to 4 gallons.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Drazan has gathered us here to discuss something important. Drazan is one of the founding members of the Burning Path.
Greetings all. Greetings. Thank you all for having me back here again. It has been some time. It seems that your numbers have swollen considerably since my last visit, which was some time ago. You might know me as one of the captains of the Wyvern-clad Guard in Dagdagile, if you're familiar. It seems to me that many of you may not have been to Dagdagile, in which case, just know that I am an ally of yours, and I was among those of you who formed this movement, and I am loyal to it. But why should you believe me? Well, that is a good question. I should say the first reason I have is simply this. Recently, in my defense of the city of Dagdagile, I have run into a number of conflicts related to the Barakyle envoy and their wizards. And in response to my actions, they took my children and my wife, and my son Levitus, and my daughters Lauren, Daphne, and Rosalind are now dead. And for this, I will have their heads. And for this reason, I am here and swearing my loyalty to the burning path. If you do not believe me, I suggest that one among you must have perhaps a cleric or a paladin whose capacity to tell truth may be willingly cast upon me, and I will speak it again, so that you may know for certain that I am your ally.
I think Lotharian stands up at that point and says, I am willing to assist you if the others desire it.
I have a question out of game. So Josan only, well, I remember him having 2 kids. They had died long ago. I didn't know he had so many more. That's gonna really put a dent in my diamond wallet. Jesus.
Well, we just need to get Lissa up to level 17, and then she can use Wish to cast the spell without components once a day.
Well, once again, we don't know that.
Oh,
So there.
Look, whatever I told you about his kids, that was weeks or months ago. I don't remember it.
It might have been over a year. It might have been over a year ago.
Right. So this is the new truth.
Oh my god. At first I was saving up 75k, and now I have to save
Hang on.
like 120.
What are we even planning on casting?
Oh, like Bess knows eventually she can restore, bring them back to life.
Like, is it true resurrection or something?
I think so.
Because
A greater.
the normal one, what's it called?
Revivify is a minute, but the higher level ones can be centuries.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can do that as part of, like, I've got that as my like class ability, class spell a lot later.
Wow.
But I know I can do it because I've got people that have walked in the path of the wildfire druid before me. So
Dun, dun, dun.
so I already know that I can do this, but just not now. That's gonna be very expensive. But that's fine. Okay, go back into game.
All right. To complicate matters, my wife, because yes, I made a mistake. So just edit in your brain what I said before when I tell you this. My wife Gudrun of Rantalon, she is in their custody. They choose to use her against me. And in this manner they have forced my hand. I cannot in good conscience let them off, even if her life is now forfeit. They must pay. If I know in my heart that if I was in her situation, she too would do this. It is worth the risk in this case. They must be stopped. Now, I have some notes on plans that I know that they have made, their interference in the Assembly of Princes. I know which houses among them they have made their influence felt. Among them, the Empress herself. I am certain of this, as I have made contact with her servants, and they have witnessed her behavior and her clandestine meetings with a wizard among them. Even the Wyvern-clad cannot be trusted anymore. They have been swayed. They are working at their marching orders. Whilst they will, to all appearances, not have changed, they now grant access to the Barakyle envoy to most any part of the city, to most any house, to most any chamber or door or lock. They have unfettered access to the city and its resources and its wealth. They are channeling the treasury's funds away from the good of the Imperium of Dagdagail into their war that they intend to raise against Vane Gate in the north. They have channeled our forces into an army which they now march forth to Charasith. They may have arrived already. They intend to do the same to that fair city too. Christina, you've been to Charasith, and you happen to know that they are charioteers and horse riders and horse breeders.
And I have an aunt there.
Yeah. And
Question out of game.
Yep.
Previously, you had told us that Vane Gate had been attacked and the siege was broken. Are we retconning that?
Did I tell you that? Oh dear.
Yeah.
We've had so many retcons right now. Jason is not the person I thought he was. Like, his wife had already died. She's
It's
back
like-
again to die again. Poor dude. Like, I feel so bad for him. He's had more kids.
Right. Maybe he's just gone mad.
Maybe we've gone mad.
Maybe you've gone mad. Maybe
'Cause
maybe
it
when you
seems-
went through that tree, you went into an alternate universe.
That would be the most. That would make the most sense, to be fair.
Okay.
He had 2 kids. His wife is dead. All of them are gone.
Oh, don't worry. Where I come
No.
from.
I blame Barry Allen.
Like the Flash.
Yeah, because he's been
Right.
time traveling. He's been messing up the timelines.
God damn
The timelines.
Damn it.
Timelines indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
it. This is so confused.
And Vane Gate had been taken.
Well, I guess I can.
We
I
got
guess I
Vane
can-
Gate.
Right, Vane Gate. Well, Vane Gate had been attacked, it had been defended, and had been fought off. That's all true. And
Yeah.
that was. I get confused because it was in a different campaign. So to sort that out, Drazan will say to you, it is true that they have tried this tactic already once before, but this time they have raised considerable more funds, now using the treasury, the very treasury of our city.
This is concerning.
The
Very
question
concerning.
The question that we should be asking ourselves is, why? So far away, Vane Gate from here, some 3,000 leagues of distance between Dagdagail and Vane Gate of Moldrea. Why would they travel so far and to such expense? Well, I have perhaps some of the answer. I understand that there is a city in the north, part of the Moldrean Protectorate, called Ankhorn. You may have heard of it, perhaps. It is in the northern sky reaches, far, far to the north, beyond the Frostmoors. This city, Ankhorn, now is controlled by a triumvirate of Goliath and human kings and queens, 3 of them. This city, several hundred years back, it was discovered there that there was a massive, massive trove of Ostorian relics, which were discovered beneath the city, within the temples and chambers of the giants that had lived there long before. This trove had so much power at the time that when it was divided among the people of the world, it shifted the balance of kingdoms and nations and transformed the landscape of politics forevermore and since. It is now said that such a trove exists beneath Vane Gate. And that will be the objective of these wizards.
Is there something like that in Dagiel as well?
Nothing such as this has been discovered, and it is doubtful. Dagdagail is a much newer city. Despite its ancient origins, it is not as ancient as the giants. But it is possible.
Out of game, would Lotharian know about the Barakyle dig sites in Vane Gate, considering he has been to the city?
Being to the city wouldn't qualify him for knowing
Okay.
that.
Okay. That is concerning. I do have a sister in the city. I should like to get word to her when I have the opportunity about this.
You have a sister in Vaingate?
Yes, she is a member of the Daughters of Twilight.
A reputable order, I understand.
Yes, very reputable.
I have not had the good grace to see them. Or the good fortune, I should say.
Well, I should say that Solanor Temple is incredibly impressive.
I've never been to any elven land, or nor into any elven temple that is beyond Dagdagile, and here they are, well, I understand, diminutive compared to the authenticity of the true ones.
I do not believe it is a question of authenticity, but rather the spirit of those who inhabit the temple.
In any case, this is of concern.
Agreed.
The Barakyle, their stratagems are deep, and they infest our city, our assembly, in such ways as to be most difficult to untangle. I do have knowledge of 2 of their safe houses within Dagdagile, which I should like to see put down. However, they have enforced them with wyvern-clad guard. I myself, whilst in the wyvern-clad, was unable to make any further investigations against them.
That is especially concerning.
Indeed.
Okay, so this will bring out some parchment. There's probably some parchment around. And then she'll write in her childish writing our new objectives.
Why don't you just have me do that?
Or do you want to? Your writing's
Yes.
probably better than mine. Yeah, go for
Yes.
it. You could. This could be your thing if you want. Here.
Here, I'll take it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I do have some other useful information, not as perhaps as meaningful as what I have just told you, but still perhaps useful. There is a high-ranking officer within the Barakyle Dominion, a commander named Varus Malion. He has been experiencing some severe dissent among his own ranks, who are on the verge of mutiny against him. He controls some crucial garrisons and several key supply depots in the Barakyle Dominion. I can give you further details when and if you need them. I've been in contact with members of his garrison who reached out to us. They, in their dissent, wish to, shall we say, exile themselves from the Dominion. Perhaps there is a way to exploit this conflict?
I believe we have some people who are familiar with the islands, and we have recently, shall we say, appropriated a Barakyle ship.
I see. Most excellent.
And it's magic and sentient.
What does this mean?
It means it has a personality. It's a bit sassy, but
The Barakyle have been doing some very concerning things involving the lower planes.
I see.
one day I hope to show you it. It's really beautiful. It also repairs itself.
Interesting. Well, this will no doubt become useful to these furtherings of these plans. I have also maintained a small network of spies among the Assembly of Princes, my own friends and colleagues, perhaps you might say. They have reported on some secret meetings and maneuverings involving Dominion agents. Lord Gareth Mithrelsea, his corruption is imminent. It is, well, more than imminent, complete. He is allowing their agents onto Dagdageil Cormorant ships. This concerns me deeply, as I feel that our own naval forces are being diverted from their role as protectors of our merchants and merchant navies and our trade routes, and are being diverted towards their own interests. You may know that Barakyle is now at war with Amprodius. This war has so far maintained a naval character. It has not hit the mainlands of either of these two nations, and has remained in the water. But our ships have returned heavily damaged at times, and it can only be assumed, at least I assume, that they are being used in this conflict against the wishes of the Assembly and the people. What think you?
I remember reading something that our people... I understand that you were present, Lissa. The Barakyle have been killing people and making masks of their faces in order to impersonate them. From what I
Yes.
remember, it seemed that there was at least the face of one noble in that collection.
This would make sense. In any case, I maintain my networks through my... I wish to say friend, but I do not wish to overstep the mark. Within the Wyvernclad, we've been working on breaking their coded messages. Some of them have fallen into our hands, but we have not had much luck.
Do you have any copies of those messages? We have people who might be able to decipher them.
I will obtain copies. Do you have any questions for me? I feel that I am now unburdened.
The House of Matador, how are they doing?
Well, I have good news in that respect. House Mahador, given its more recent losses, the loss of Lord Mahador but a few years back, left Lady Mahador a widow. She is underestimated by the Barakyle Dominion, and thus she has been left untouched, at least as far as I am able to discern.
That's good.
She maintains her tavern and a few other small holdings and resources, but wisely, I can say, I believe it is wise that she has not expanded the house in ways that would cause much notice. And so, by remaining small and appearing not to have interest in power, she stays out of their notice, at least for now.
So, are you all right to step into a leadership role here? We need people to help, I guess, guide the soldiers, the ones who are carrying up arms for us.
It would be my great honor.
Very well. Then that shall be your role here.
Very good. When you are ready to discuss your hierarchies and organizational outfitting, that would be most excellent too. I must say I chafe at the lack of order.
Well, I understand. we don't really have the we just don't have that sorted yet, and I don't really know where to begin. So I'm glad to have someone like you around. Oh, if you want new armor, because right now you're donning the wyvern clad, the you
Yes, I understand, Vespera.
you can have a chat to Cinder when he gets back, and he could probably help you out with that. He's
That would be
very,
well.
very lovely.
I do appreciate the offer. I will consider it.
Mm.
I must say I have grown attached to my wyvern-clad armor, and it may become useful in the future. But yes, I understand there is a need for us to form a more...
Unified?
Yes. Unified aesthetic.
Like a look? Yeah, I agree.
But we must also maintain the capacity towards guerrilla warfare.
What is that?
Well, when the armies of Kurgasiax ran against and he gives you this big long-winded example of this fight that happened in some far land in some past time. Basically, he talks about how the local people rose up and fought using, whatever they had, and they didn't bother organizing into like special units or anything. They used tactics that were against kind of standard military tactics. They instead of organizing into units and fighting like soldiers in an army, they fought like anarchists, if that makes any sense. It was designed to confuse the enemy because out of game Vietnam War is really the...
My people would call what he is telling you hit and run tactics.
Yes.
This was very much like I was expecting guerrillas. But that's okay.
I know a few battles like that. A few ancient battles.
Oh. Sorry, I'm not very well versed in that. We didn't really take part in any that I know of.
Ironically, I believe I have taken part in what your people would consider an ancient battle.
What does this mean?
You're so old, Lotharian.
It's not that I am old, it's just that humans do not live long.
Well, some of my people do.
Yes, but druids are a special exception.
True.
They are special.
Perhaps I can explain it to you a different way. Irregular. We will avoid direct confrontation with their main forces, which would only lead to unnecessary casualties on our side. Instead, we must strike where they least expect it, using the element of surprise to our advantage. We should ambush them. Our forces should hide and wait along their known supply routes and troop movements, and when the time is right, we spring upon them, overwhelming them with swift and decisive attacks before they have time to muster or mount their defenses. These hit-and-run tactics, as your friend here, Storm, has mentioned, we should strike. We do not stay in the fight for a prolonged battle. We do not stay there to the end. We do not stay there long enough to be defeated. We move in, we attack them, we get back out, taking out several of their members, as many as we can, before we are overwhelmed. Then we vanish back into the territory as quickly as possible. This will leave our enemies confused, demoralized, and constantly looking over their shoulders and exhausting their resources in futile pursuits. We must use the terrain, our familiarity with the forests and the mountains and the ruins about Dagdagail. These are our greatest assets. We must use the dense forests for cover, the mountains for vantage points, and the ruins for our hiding places and ambush sites. Each attack should be planned to maximize the natural advantages of our surrounding provide. That our natural surrounding, you know what I said. We must disrupt their supply lines. We must target them and their caches. We must starve their forces of their resources so they cannot sustain their campaign. We utilize well-placed raids on their hidden supply caches. There is one near Balamith, which could cripple their ability to wage war effectively. We must spread their forces thin. We'll carry out simultaneous raids, feigned attacks on multiple fronts. This will force the Dominion to spread their forces into multiple places at the same time, weakening their strongholds and making them vulnerable to decisive strikes. We must use misinformation and deception. We will feed them. We will feed false information to their scouts and spies, leading them to believe that we are stronger in certain places and weaker in others. Then, when they plan their attacks, they will be confused and confounded. This will further spread the confusion and cause them to miscalculate and misallocate their forces. By employing these tactics, we can erode their strength and morale over time, turning their might into disadvantage. Remember, our strengths lie not in matching them blow for blow, but in making each of our strikes count, leaving them disoriented and demoralized. Does this make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
And this is what I mean.
Okay. So, what's our next
Port of call?
port of call? What is our top priority now? Is it finding allies? Is it attacking something? I have a whole bunch of notes here on the wall. They might be hard to read.
Well,
I
we should
rewrote
list
them
our
for you.
targets. We should find a map or make a map of Barakyle. We should list whom and what is where. We should prioritize our targets and plan.
Okay. I think you might want to have a chat to Saruka, Jazan, because she might be able to help you with the layout of this
That I can do.
Barakyle.
Of course. I will provide you with a detailed map of Barakyle as I have memorized it. Among the many tasks that an Archon of the Barakyle Envoy is required to do is to name every place and every island and every islet in the nation.
That's scary, but amazing. Thank you.
You're
very
most
helpful.
welcome.
It's so nice to have you on our side. Okay, so you two can work together. Okay, so what else are we going to need to do? What's our first goal? I look to Lotharian and Lissa and Storm.
Sarduka says to you, the portal, the gate is open, is it not? Is this not a great asset that should be explored and exploited?
If I can reach my sister via sending spell, I believe she should be able to furnish us with the name of the portal in Vane Gate.
I am aware that the Barakyle seek to these portal gates. They have other spells that they can utilize for long distances. However,
Can they come through ours or what?
if they have the name of our gate, they could, yes. This name must be kept most secret. It should not fall into the enemy's hands. If it does, they will invade us from within. However, if we can obtain the names of their gates, well, the same can be said for us.
I'm relatively new here. My name's Storm. Should we not obtain this name and go to Vane Gate?
I will need someone's assistance casting a sending spell in order to get the name. It is not a magic I am able to use myself.
Out of game, sending, is that a wizard spell?
It's wizards can cast it, but the thing is, somebody would have to cast it into give him a scroll, or he would have to borrow a ring of spell storing.
Can Sarduka cast it?
She should be able to cast it, but again, it would have to be through a ring of spell storing. He'd have to attune to a ring of spell storing to use it.
Which you could do pretty simply.
Yeah. I figure we could do that, like if we have a little bit of a downtime or time skip or something.
Yep.
That was kind of my plan, but I just didn't get into the details.
In which case, Saduka says, I can assist you with this.
Very well. That is appreciated.
Of course, we shall perform the action once this meeting is closed.
Very well.
Once you have obtained the information that you require, perhaps the Daughters of Twilight, if they are kind, they may give us access to other portals and gates.
I will discuss it with my sister when I see her in person.
I suggest that you inform... This would be my plan. Obtain the name of the gate in Vaingate. Warn the Daughters of Twilight that we are sending an envoy to meet them there. Then, once done, we may discuss with them our motives and goals in relation to theirs to see if they align. If they do, we may find ourselves with powerful allies.
That was my plan as well. You have simply put it more succinctly.
Thank you.
Well, I'm keen to have a look at this portal. Don't know if I've had a good look at it.
Very well.
Mm.
Drazan
So-
sits there uncomfortably, moving from one butt cheek to the other.
Sorry, who does?
Drazan.
Razan. Okay. Oh, why?
All this discussion of magic portals makes him a bit nervous.
Oh, right.
Is there anything else we'd need to cover in this meeting, Drazan?
I think also, if you're planning to travel to Vaingate, then you should warn them that the Barakyle envoy is sending another force to meet them at the field of battle.
This was also my plan.
I feel that this action could be stopped. One thing I can tell you, the money that they are spending on this, it is coming from the treasury at Dagdagyl. If that flow of coin can be stymied, the army can be stopped.
That is good to know. I believe that we should look at that as a future operation. If one of us could gain access to the Empress and cast, say, magic on her to... I understand that she is addicted to the Skargan blood?
I've heard such things, yes.
If one of our people could gain access to her and use magic on her to heal her affliction, perhaps end her addiction, then perhaps we could gain a bargaining chip.
I agree, yes, but gaining access to the Empress, most difficult, sir. Most difficult.
Certainly.
I have met the Empress before.
You haven't met the Empress. How impressive. How was it done?
She was impressed by the fact that I was a rare creature.
I see. Do you think then perhaps she will see you again?
I think so. She wanted to keep me.
Yeah, I remember that.
As what? Keep you as a servant?
As a pet?
That was what I was thinking.
Yes, pretty much.
Vile.
Well, that's just twisted.
That does give you an option. At least that is something she might consider in her state of mind. She would not expect you to be some sort of infiltrator. Perhaps we could dangle the opportunity in front of her. Perhaps, and I say this with caution and with the greatest of respect, my friend. I say friend, I do not know you well, but perhaps we bait her and sell you to her.
Can't hear you.
You're on mute.
That would be an excellent idea, General.
I don't know if I agree with this.
It certainly seems risky. Perhaps if we had another infiltrator who could accompany him, but slipping past the guards would be difficult.
They could do it.
Perhaps
At
a
the cloak of
handler.
invisibility.
Invisibility, protection against such things is not as uncommon as you might suspect, Lissa.
Can either of you heal?
Me.
No, I mean, like, restore a person back to their
Can you use restoration magic?
greater
Up your
restoration.
arms.
Perhaps a ring of spell storing could be prepared with the spell inside. Out of game, it's a 5th level spell. It would fit, but it would take up the entire thing.
Oh, right. I could always do that. I do have that magic. It does cost a bit, though.
But in order to
Somewhere.
get the Empress on our side, it might be worth it.
If I am to discover that she
It's not too bad.
cannot be brought to our side,
There is one other option, one that I am loath to suggest. I cannot.
Oh, okay. All right then.
I suspect that I know what you mean, and if that is the case, I would recommend against it because the Barakyle would find a way to use it against us.
What was your suggestion? Your thought?
My interpretation of your thought would be something along the lines of abduction or worse.
It did occur to me that the assassination of the Empress would not necessarily harm our cause, but it would leave a power vacuum, and there is, of course, the moral and ethical implications of
And
the Empress.
even without evidence, I'm quite certain the Barakyle would blame us.
I think
They will blame us anyway.
for this matter, we should probably have a chat to Skargarin because he's a nobleman and he might know a better way of doing this.
You know Lord Skagarin. Does he know that you know Lord Skagarin?
I
believe
don't.
so.
I think we might have mentioned it, but I'm not sure if it.
I'm
not sure if.
how surprised Drazan should be about that.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to play it that he's surprised.
Okay. He's surprised by everything.
Yeah, true.
He's got a lot on his plate.
He does.
Yeah.
He might have forgotten, or it might have not. Might have missed it somehow.
He might have just thought, "Oh yeah, you were at House Bailburn. Oh yeah, okay. Oh
I'm
wait,
just
you actually
wondering
know
how
the
many
lord of
kids
it."
is he gonna lose next time?
Oh, shut up. Just hope you're not one of them.
Ah!
You know
I'll try
Lord
not to.
Skagarin of House Bailburn.
Yes, we do.
He is an ally of yours.
He is an ally.
That is most excellent. I have not had good occasion to speak at any great length with him, but his jests at the assembly have proven to be cautious. Despite him, he does not openly attack the Barakyle at the assembly, but he has spoken individually with members of the court, and I have come to the conclusion that he has offered perhaps a calming or cautious approach to the Barakyle. Unlike Lord Balin, who unfortunately has disappeared, his vocalizations of his concern at the Barakyle's influence has gotten him abducted by all accounts.
We know.
Yes.
It is something we want. His name is on the board. I point to it. He's quite important.
He is one of my countrymen, and I have a responsibility to see to his well-being.
If you want to go speak to Skargarin, I can give you a portal.
an excellent idea.
You want me to come with you?
Perhaps it would be best to send him a warning rather than simply appearing through a tree on his premises.
I'm sorry. I never think to do that. Thank you, Lithari. It's not a druid's way. We don't send invites or,
I
RSVPs.
do understand, but I do have some experience being around nobility and some insight into how they think.
All right. How can we send a message? Oh, Farrell could do it. He was right here. Hello.
Yeah, he just kind of like,
Sorry.
yeah. Farrell is just like, rolls his eyes and just gets back to what he was doing.
Farrell.
Yes.
Would you be able to send Lord Skogari a message saying that we're going to visit him soon? If that's what you desire.
I will, once we work out the details, I will cast the spell and send him a message.
All right. I hope you're okay over there. I know that
I'm fine.
you've been so busy.
Well, with the new changes, it's a load of work off my plate, and I can start doing a bit more research.
Do you want Pierre to give you a massage? I don't know. You look so ailed.
I'm fine, Vespera.
I have some. Perhaps it is not true. I have not been able to verify this fact, but I understand that the Barakyle Dominion keep their political prisoners on an island called Valashar. Out of game, Valashar is spelled with an X too, like Tabaxi.
Maybe my uncle is there. Some of my druid members, my druid clan were taken and their bodies weren't discovered.
Litharian looks to Sarduka.
She says, I have heard that there is a place they call the Iron Bastion. I have not been there myself, and I cannot verify this fact.
Did you write that down, Lissa? Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. You're amazing.
I could say that if the Barakyle do keep a prison at Valashar, this Iron Bastion, it will be protected with wards and barriers and surveillance that will be most difficult to penetrate, but not impossible. And it is an island, and we do have a boat. It is one of the smaller islands in the Barakyle archipelago.
Interesting. Very well. I believe we should factor this into our plans.
I shall note its location on the map when I draw it for you in the near future.
That is appreciated.
Of course. So, I'm going to find you a map of Barakyle to put up on the screen just because I can.
Yeah, I remember the map.
I'll pull you guys over to the map. Hopefully that's worked. Now I have to find it. Valashar. Maybe it's on a closer map. Anyway,
Could be this little guy here.
could be. Yep.
I don't see any other little islands.
Yes. That would make some sense.
Nice and isolated, far from the mainland. Even if somebody got out, they wouldn't be able to swim anywhere.
It's true, yeah. And it is close enough to the Red Citadel for access if required. So yeah, Okay.
About a game.
Ooh. Yeah.
If you go see Skargaren, you can always get Nightingale on your side.
Always get what?
You can get Nightingale on your side.
True.
New crew unlocked.
Crew unlock. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
If you
well.
want.
So, Sarduka says perhaps we should begin with the spell on and the ring.
Very well then. If the meeting has run its course, then.
Drazan says, I believe I have nothing else of great importance to tell you, but if I think of anything, I will come to you as individuals.
All right.
Thank you all for listening and for being here.
I think perhaps I should find you a place to rest.
That would be well, yes.
Yeah, I agreed, and show him the armory once that is arranged.
Right. Well, I'll take Jazan and wander off.
All right. So you show him the armory, you find him a place to stay. Sarduka casts sending into a ring, and you attune to it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I cast sending to contact Iolanthra.
Very well. And what do you tell Iolanthra?
Basically that he has found, or rather the Burning Path has found an Astorian portal in the wastelands near Dagdagail, and he would like the name of the portal under Solinor Temple so that they can pay her a visit and talk in person.
Iolanthra responds shortly thereafter. You will wait 3 hours, and then at midnight, because it's 3 hours to midnight, at least in the Vaingate time zone.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't know. This world is pretty big. I mean, it's like I don't even know how the time zones work in Sidario.
Right, who the fuck knows? I'd
Yeah.
have to really think about that. Yeah, never really.
Because
never
the
had to
time
consider it
zones,
before.
like the time zones would depend on like the orbit of 2 suns, not just one.
Yeah, right, and it's a flat Earth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah.
I've no idea.
Okay.
But anyway,
Anyway,
she
she tells him how long to wait.
Yeah, 3 hours, so that she can secure the portal and make sure that there's nobody there when you arrive, basically. And she asks you who you're sending. Well, no, can you respond again or no?
She could cast sending again back to me. Because I believe clerics can cast sending, can't they?
I think so. Yeah, Jesse used it.
Yeah.
Used it a lot.
Jesse?
Jester. Critical Role.
Oh, right.
That was her
I am
thing.
double checking. Well, hang on. It isn't on the cleric spell list.
It isn't.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. Bard, cleric, wizard, and then one warlock subclass.
I'm going to be stingy and say she doesn't have it. At least she doesn't have it prepared today.
Okay, well, we got somebody else to cast another sending into the ring.
Okay.
We go bug Feralt.
Go for it. Okay, so you're going to send. So what's your next message then?
Basically, she asked who we were taking, so I just tell her that obviously he will be going. Other members of the Burning Path, a draconic sorceress, a wildfire druid, and something called a tabashi named Storm.
Okay. Very well. Okay, so long story short then, you do that. She doesn't respond this time.
Okay.
And so you make your preparations. Tell me about your preparations.
I think his preparations would be like gearing up just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. But also at the same time making sure he's presentable and his armor's clean. I don't know.
Same for Storm. He does himself up.
Yeah.
Do you tell anybody in your group who you're going to meet?
I think Vespera knows. I don't think and I think he might have mentioned it in passing to Lissa, but I don't think he's really explained. And I don't know how much Lissa knows about elven houses.
Considering that she was raised by a elven draconic dragon.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
a lot.
though, it depends, though. It's like how much the I don't know. You could give her a history check.
I think that, I mean, yeah, she was raised by a dragon who appeared as an elf, but was not an elf. But that being said, the dragon knows a lot about elves, and so she may well have been schooled in the history of Sidarial and these types of things. So, Lissa, I would think that you've certainly in passing, you know the names of the high houses of Tularathian. And so the name Imdrael, you would know, is one of the high houses of Hemoth Tirith, which is the capital of the Elven realm. You probably know enough about history to have heard the name Iolanthra, but you would only know it in relation to a battle called the Battle of Koban Dur, where she was a famous figure. I don't think you would remember the details of that battle because it's too obscure. But the name would definitely ring a bell if you heard it.
I don't think he's actually referred to her by her full name, just by her nickname.
Right, Io.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is going to be interesting.
What about Storm? Have you mentioned it to him?
I think I think he's still a little bit wary about Storm because kind of like.
Okay, so Storm, you're going to get a surprise.
As he's just basically oh, my sister is there.
Storm is going to get a surprise, and in return, you're all going to get a surprise.
Yeah. Yep, that's going to be interesting.
Okay. All right, so very well. You make your preparations. Does anybody do anything that they need to do or want to do in preparation or otherwise before you go down to the portal?
I'm going to say, can we say that Cinder has managed to make an adamantine weapon as like a sample of what we can do to show we can actually work it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Just like something simple but very well made.
Like a dagger or something?
Like, I'm thinking maybe more like a...
Warhammer?
I was thinking something more like an arming sword. An elven longsword, but in his own style.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't think so.
You're
I think
good.
I'm good.
Lissa, you want to do anything? Bring anything? Are you bringing the baby dragon?
Yes.
Okay.
She is a symbol of hope.
That's true. She is a symbol of hope. That is very true. It's hard to argue with someone that has a baby dragon on their shoulder.
I mean, the
Even if she did run away, I gotta go catch her.
yeah. I can think of one person who might be able to argue, but that's another story.
Storm, what are you doing, thinking about, considering?
I just get myself some supplies, some decent, my decent clothes. I must have decent clothes after all these years. Wear those, and get ready to be a bodyguard, basically.
Okay, all right. Okay, so long story short, then you gather your shit together, and you have. Let's make it clear that you've had a very long rest. So everyone's at full health and full hit points and full spell slots and all that shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
You've got all the things that you need. Don't come back to me later and go, but I wanted to bring my blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, well, you didn't tell me, so fuck you. No, unlikely. I'm pretty reasonable usually.
Yeah.
And you go down into the Undercroft, below the city, below Turagile, and you venture down into the mines, and you travel through the murky, mucky mines for a while, and you eventually get to this hole that leads down a rather difficult tunnel that you kind of have to crawl through. Actually, it requires a certain amount of clambering to get through, and eventually it comes out into a chamber. I think I have a map actually for this.
You had a map of before, so you should have one.
So last time you went there, it looked a bit like this, and it was guarded by a
Jesus.
Crow monster.
yeah. What's
Yeah,
it called?
I remember that monster.
A deep crow. That's what it was. A deep
Ah.
crow. But the deep crow is now A, dead, and B, probably you've stripped it for parts and used it for making stuff. Because it
Probably.
has,
We
you know,
wouldn't leave it rotting there anyway.
right, the gallbladder of it might have been useful for something, and it's you
Yeah,
know,
alchemy.
Yeah, exactly. All its organs have been utilized for one thing or another.
Waste not, want not.
Right. What was this? Somebody's spiritual weapon. Okay.
Oh, that would be cinders.
Right. So at this point, all that green shit is kind of mostly gone, because there were plants growing out of the portal because it was very unstable, and it was shifting between different locations and planes every few seconds. So now that you're here, all the electricity has stopped zapping around, and hang on, we should show the audience this. Right, so you come in from the bottom, down this way, and you approach the portal, which is now sitting there, swirling. And of course, what's her name? Iolanthra didn't mention this, but she, yes, she sent you the name of the portal in an Elven. It's an actually, it's an Ostorian. So you have the giant name of the portal. So approaching the portal, I suppose, you go through it.
Yep.
Okay, now here's the question: is do I have the map of the other portal? World maps. Not in this game. I haven't added it to this game, so never mind.
Yeah.
That's all right. So we'll come back over to here. All right, so you step into the portal and you feel this discombobulating sensation occur as you were pulled out of space and time and sent through this whirling wormhole. And
Doctor Who.
you got it. And boom, 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 you all come piling out of the portal on the other side, kind of quite suddenly and without a lot of time to get your head around it or brace for it. So I'm going to get dexterity saving throws just to see whether or not you can land on your feet.
I can't wait to get back via plant because that was horrible.
Anybody within 10 feet of me does get +3 on that.
Oh, nice. Okay, so
I didn't do so well.
No, we neither.
Oh, Vesperig rolled an 8, +3 is 11. Okay, Barry, Storm gets +7 to his dex save, and so that's another 3 to that, so you're getting +10.
So
And
just don't roll a 1, basically.
he rolled a 20. A natural 20.
Seems like a waste.
He rolled
So
a natural 20.
So that's like he backflips out of the portal, basically. He flips out of the portal.
He rolls. It's a 30 with all the bonuses included. You rolled a 30 for your dex save, so Storm just like steps out of the portal.
Yeah.
He's like looking
While
around.
the rest of
Everyone else
us go kablunk.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Lotharian got a 16. I think he did okay.
Oh yeah, I think
I
Lotharian
got a
kind
13.
of. Lotharian, you land on your feet. Lissa, you land kind of on your feet. I imagine. Storm, I don't know whether you want to land standing up or whether you want to do the whole classic superhero pose with your hand on the floor and one knee, you know, or what, or maybe you just step out and you're like, yeah, and then these guys land at your feet.
No, just walk out.
You just walk out. Okay. Very good. And when you walk out, as you begin to look around, I'll do one other thing before that happens. Whilst you're in the portal, I will have a perception check from the interior of the wormhole.
Okay.
I was so close to a natural 20, but then it rolled over, and I got a 5.
Well, Storm got a 21.
I got a 21.
I got
too.
15.
You got a 15. Okay. Well, did anyone get lower than like a 14?
I got a 5.
You got a 5. Okay, so Lotharian's busy going, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Internally, he's just like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck.
Right. So he's not noticing too much about the actual interior of the warp bubble.
Yeah.
But the rest of you, you realize that there are like twists and turns in the actual tunnel, and you're being kind of down this way, and then you whiz off in another direction down a different tunnel, and you're sort of beginning to see that there is a network of these tunnels woven together, and they all go to different places. And you, as you go past the entranceways to other tunnels, you can see down those tunnels, and the ends of those tunnels are like magnified, like fisheye lenses, and you can see the outpouring points, the outpoints of each of those places. And so you're seeing different locations flying past you as you whiz down through the portal. And then, of course, plonk, 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 you all land in Vane Gate. And you find yourselves in a chamber with a vaulted ceiling and double doors in front of you. There is a small contingent of elves. Most of them are wearing plate armor and blue cloaks and hoods with stars and golden or silver stripes on them as well. Stars and stripes, oh god. They look like paladins. One of them, of course, Lotharian, is your sister, and she steps forward and she shakes her head. Lotharian, my brother. I
It has
find
been
you
too long.
on your knees before me.
I mean, he got a 16. He landed on his feet.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Who was it that totally fucked this up?
I
The
just
Spara.
did so
Oh,
well.
Spara. Okay. Oh, that's fair. Okay.
I got a living.
All right, I'll
Not
take it
too
back.
bad.
She doesn't say any smarmy comments. Very good. And she looks up at Storm. And Storm, you look up and you see Iolanthra, who you've not seen for some time. But you recognize now, and you're surprised because you didn't know that this is who you're coming here to meet, because nobody told you. And, I mean, out of game, do you remember, does Barry remember meeting Iolanthra as Storm?
Yeah, but that was a long, long time ago.
Right, it was one of the in fact, it was the very first time you and I ever streamed, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Okay, so you look up from your position as you come out of the portal and you see Iolanthra and you're like, holy crap, I know you. And these clerics and paladins step towards the group, these elves, they're all female. And Iolanthra breaks forward from them. She has these beautiful, majestic golden locks that frame her face, and she moves as, like, those of you that play Vampire the Masquerade, she has majesty.
Aha. God damn. Okay.
And she approaches you gleaming like this angelic divine figure. Greetings. I understand that you are the Burning Path.
And Lotharian subtly gestures to Vespera as he's helping her up.
Oh, thank you. Hello. Yes, I am Vespera, Lady of Fire, and I am one of the founders of the Burning Path. Here we have Lissa, we have Storm here, which you seem to know, and obviously your brother, who has told me all about you, and it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Welcome to Soldanor Temple of Vane Gate. You are hosted now by the Daughters of Twilight. I am Iolanthra Imdrael, Seneschal of this temple. You are
Wonderful.
here at my behest, and also you have my hospitality. You may or may not know, but this here, Lotharian, is my brother.
Can we tell, like, out of game, do you guys look alike? Or?
I think his hair is like paler than hers, but there would be like similar features.
Yeah.
He's also, a few centuries or so younger than her.
Right, that would be true.
This feels like she's a little bit intimidated by this woman. and is blushing.
Christina, what are you thinking, feeling, and what's Baby Dragon doing?
Well, she recognizes the name, and her eyes kind of go kind of big. She's like, I know her from history. And the little dragon's like trying to poke her head out, and she's not quite sure she should show the dragon yet.
Iolanthra steps towards you and she looks at the dragon. What is this that you have?
And I guess I just let her come out, and she does her little thing, curls up and around me.
What a remarkable...
This is Asterial.
Asterial. What a beautiful name. Blessings, Asterial. Blessings of the Seldarine. Welcome to our temple.
Graciously.
You are so young and small, little one. You must be very recent. Your mother must have laid your egg sometime since the new age. Curious. I understood that the dragons no longer laid eggs in Sidaria. This is a great sign. And storm. Hurricane storm.
It has been some time, my lady. Any bells?
Last we met, you were in pursuit of your dear friend. Was her name not Smoke?
Smoky. Mm-hmm. Yes, my lady. And I found her.
That is most excellent news to hear. I did fear for her. You and your companion were of such rare and precious type. To find you again, it is a miracle.
Ah, it seems as though our paths are always destined to meet, my lady.
Yes. So, now that you are here, you wish to discuss the means and uses of our portal, our gate. Let me tell you... What?
Oh, you finish, sorry.
Let me tell you this first. This portal has not been used by any individual but Daughters of Twilight for several centuries, and it is one of our most closely guarded secrets. None know the name of it but us. As I am the seneschal of this temple here in Solanor Temple in Vaingate, I alone have the authorization to give out its name. Thusly, by giving it to you, I am putting in your care an enormous and great deal of trust. You must not give it away. It is imperative. So I must determine that you are first pure of heart, and secondly that you are strong enough to resist any force that may attempt to obtain the name from you.
Oh, how do you suppose we do that?
Well, I shall get to know you.
Okay.
That will be the first step, of course. You must understand that the Barakyle Dominion, of whom I understand are your enemies, as they are mine, which I will not speak out loud to anyone but in this room, for they carry diplomatic immunity in this city. They cannot be persecuted on grounds of any means. They will go to great lengths to obtain the name of a portal such as this. They do not know this one exists. And it should stay that way. If they were to learn of this place, their attacks upon us would be relentless. And if they were to obtain...
we understand.
I think you understand, yes. The means that they would go to, the lengths that they would go to, they would find ways of necromancy and any other means they have at their disposal, from necromancy to fiends and so forth, any means of torture they could invent or otherwise obtain, they would utilize it to pry this name from you.
Well, that's scary. We have seen things like that happen before.
And by extension, the name of your portal, similarly, would they use it to mount their attacks. So I suggest perhaps this is the deal that we must make. I will give you the name of our portal, and you will return with the name of yours. Then we shall have an agreement that neither of us use the other's portal without strong prior agreement and discussion.
Of course.
I would like, before we do, I'd like to get to know you all as well. Would that be all right?
Please, of course. I should like to show you Solanor Temple and the grounds above. Perhaps a tour of Vane Gate. Dine with us, pray with us.
So nervous. I've heard so much about this place that I don't know if I've ever been to a place bigger than this.
Well, do not forget, this room itself was constructed by the giants. The temple above is of a slightly less impressive nature.
Do not sell it short. The stained glass above is magnificent.
That is true. Solanor Temple is quite exquisite in its form. Our gardens bring joy to me each time I lay my eyes upon them. But
I want to see.
Of course.
So bad.
Of course. You must not tell anyone that you arrived by means of this portal. Obviously, that is understood.
Of course.
I just make these things implicit or explicit, should I say.
In your garden, do you perhaps have a really, really, really pretty tree that you like?
We have many trees in our gardens.
All right.
Curious.
I look to Lotharion.
Lotharion.
Yes, they have nice trees.
Lotharion. Have you heard? I am curious to see how far rumors spread about this world, but there has been a most interesting development in our garden.
Oh? And what is that?
Can you believe that an apple made of gold appeared upon an apple tree?
This must be some manner of divine miracle.
It grew, it seemed, overnight. No one saw it appear, and when it did, we guarded it with our lives, and yet it was stolen.
That is concerning.
Is it not? Indeed, it is concerning. I should like to introduce you to my quartermaster, Millmore Glass. And from amongst the cleric's robes out steps this gnome. He's quite an ugly gnome, and he's gnomish. He nods. He doesn't look impressed at all at any of this, at any of you, at anything at all. He is completely nonplussed by the whole business. Well. So, you are the Burning Path, then, I understand. That's very impressive in the Burning Path. And so you came all the way from Dagdagile. Is that right?
That is correct.
Well, you must be very tired, then, I suppose. It is, after all, a very long way.
We didn't... I went to Lotharion.
He just kind of shakes his head subtly don't.
Okay, all right.
Incidentally, this might be an opportune time. I did send you a message saying that we have found adamantine under the fortress we are occupying.
Adamantine?
And it seems that somehow we have come across a smith who is able to forge it. And he pulls out the sword. And just kind of like holds it out in two hands.
Well, my lady, this is impressive, I will say. Adamantine blade has not been seen for some time, let alone someone able to forge it. Are you sure you didn't find this? It takes it from...
Would you like to examine it?
I will, if you don't mind, yes.
Of course. I would be interested to hear your opinion of it.
Well, it does indeed seem to be true adamantine. It does have the right glimmer about it, yes, yes. And the grain in the blade, yeah. I would say that was adamantine.
And I'm sure you noticed it looks quite freshly forged.
Well, it has no dings on it, that is for sure. Yes, the blade is as sharp as any blade I've seen. Perhaps nearly as sharp as a moonblade, but not quite, no.
And have you ever seen the maker's mark on it?
The maker's mark. Turns the blade over.
Out of game, it's an anvil in profile with a spiral on it. I posted a picture of it in the Discord a little while back.
Yep, I did see that.
Okay.
Where on the blade is the maker's mark?
Just above the guard.
Okay. Oh, I do see that. Yeah, I've not seen this maker's mark before. Who is this maker?
That is a very long story, but for the moment, he is calling himself the Adept of the Forge.
Adept of the Forge. Well, you tell this Adept. He's quite good in my perspective. You don't suppose you have any more of these, do you?
I believe he could certainly make more. However, at the moment, he said his limitation is producing a flame hot enough to forge adamantine.
Hot flames, eh? You need hot
He
flames.
said that he could quite do with brimstone if anyone is able to supply it.
Tell me, has he approached any dwarves about the matter? I understand they've got this brand newfangled device they call a bellows. Does wonders for hot flames.
I'm surprised he hasn't asked me.
Out of game, he did ask you. That's how he forged the blade.
Okay. Well, I'm surprised he's not asking me more. I can help him.
And you are helping him, but you've got other responsibilities.
You're too
And the thing is, it's like...
You're too busy.
Well, basically,
Okay,
the thing
I
is,
get it.
it's like... And it's like... Yeah. But anyway. Yes, he seems to have no problems forging steel and other metals, but adamantine, he says the flame isn't hot enough even with a bellows.
Well, that is impressive then, I suppose. No flame hot enough. No one's made or forged adamantine for, well, as long ago as the last age.
The Lady Vespera is able to assist with her fire magic, however, she has other responsibilities and it is difficult for her to allocate that much time to spending in the forge.
Thank you for speaking on behalf of me, but no, he is accurate.
He passes the blade back to you. Unless this is a gift, of course, for my lady, Lady Ilanthra.
It is a gift to Ilanthra.
She looks at Milmore and she says, "Yes, Milmore, you may keep it in your offices as quartermaster."
At a game, would Lotharian have at least heard rumors about Milmore? Like, know of his existence in broad terms?
How often does he speak with Ilanthra?
Might have been a decade, but he probably suspected that there might be somebody who was interested in the adamantine, so I think he just brought a chunk of the ore.
Okay.
And since you are so interested, I will offer you this as a gift, and hands Milmore a chunk of the ore. About the size of his fist.
Well, you say that this requires extreme heat in which to forge it with. That is the case.
I thought you might be interested in the material. You strike me as a researcher type.
Well, yes, I'm very interested in the material, yes, but what can I make of it without this heat you speak of?
Well,
you say you require brimstone. I understand there's brimstone enough at the Parkard Rift. However, no one wishes to go there.
That does pose a quandary.
If you want to forge something in the immediate future, I can help you, but...
No, we do not wish to tax your spells and powers whilst you are here as guests.
I wouldn't have to worry about it. I like to put my little my wildfire spirit in the flame, and he just has a little bath, and that seems to stoke it out well enough.
Let us consider these things, but perhaps we should
Okay.
consider them over some food. What do you think, milady? Perhaps it's time for us to move out of the portal chamber and somewhere more
Please.
comfortable, perhaps. I don't see that we should stay here. Yes, Milmore, I agree. You too can stop speaking for me.
I nod to Iolandra.
All right, so Milmore moves back and kind of shuts down.
I like your sister, Lotharian. She's amazing.
Yes, you should have seen her at Kobandur.
Now,
Is that a party? Oh.
I have gifts for you that you may utilize now whilst you are on the premises. When we're done here and you return through the portal, I'm afraid, unfortunately, I will have to ask for them back.
Of course.
One of her servants steps forward, one of the clerics, one of her underlings, and she has... how many of you are there? 4 of you. She has 4 green rolls of material which she takes and passes to each of you. Well, she holds them out and expects you to take one each. And as you examine each one, you'll see that they have Elven writing on them. And the name Imdrael is written on each of them. And she says, Iolanthra speaks as the cleric hands these out. She says, "These are cloaks of Elvenkind. I give them to you now, for I do not wish any of our daughters here, or anyone else for that matter, to be aware of your presence, at least not in this portal room. No one should see you come or go from this particular part of the complex."
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
You may use them as long as you are in Vanegate, and you may travel about the city as you will, but I will require them back. These belong to my house. They are my personal property.
Oh, thank you kindly.
If you wouldn't mind, please don them now and raise the hoods so that you may be less visible.
Baby dragon.
Out of game, Lotharian already has a cloak of Elvenkind.
Yeah, he's probably got one of the... Lotharian...
Double up.
Is Lotharian's last name is Imdrael?
Yes.
Okay, so he probably has one of these exact cloaks.
Okay.
Wear 2 of them, I dare you.
And Lissa has a cloak of invisibility. So yeah, we only really need the 2 of them.
I've got the ring of invisibility.
I
can
wild
travel
shape?
by a tree, so like.
And you can wild shape.
Yeah.
Right.
Lotharian can hit things really hard.
So Storm is really the only one that needs something. And he's pretty secretly ninja-y anyway, but never hurts to have a cloak of Elvenkind.
Yeah,
I'll
disadvantage
wear
on
the
perception
cloak.
check.
I'll
Thing
wear
is,
the
you-
cloak, but I have no like room to.
You just done attune something else, but yeah. Anyway.
You can take the cloak and wear it or not. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
Do what you will, as long as you give it back. Is really the only thing that I'm concerned about.
Right.
Yeah.
All right then. So, thusly, they lead you up and out into Temple Solanor, which is made of beautiful pink and white marble, and is most impressive. Huge pillars around you. You can see out into the gardens where there are cherry blossom trees with petals falling in the wind. The light of the 2 suns are not present because it's the middle of the night. So instead, you see the reflected light of 4 of the moons instead. Shealosa, Jasudat, Eylash Druin, and Duranath. Those are the elven names of some of the moons. The Foundation, the Threshold of Initiation, Peace and Salvation, and what was the other one? the Stairs of Ascension. And these moons sit upon the horizon, as you can see them through the archways out above the city in the distance. Those of you that have not been to the city before, when you look out, you can see these enormous walls. Like Dagdagiel has big walls, but this has bigger walls, and these walls are the walls built by the cloud giants before the city fell from the sky and was built upon by the elves and then the humans. And so it's massive, and they're curved. So I don't know if you have even seen a map of Vaingate, but she takes you up to another room upstairs, and
Ilanthra.
Yes,
is that
Lady
right?
of Fire.
If I was to turn into a bird and fly up to those moons, would I get there? How long would it take for me to get there? We have moons above us too, but
They're the
I don't
same.
know, it always feels so close here. It feels so far from where I'm from.
I cannot say, but to say this, no one that I am aware of has ever tried or succeeded in reaching the moons directly. There is a story, however. There is an ancient set of rods called the Ladder of the Stars. If one is to obtain all 22 of these immovable rods and keep them together as a set, there is supposedly a command word that forms them into a ladder that revolves about as one climbs. It is said that if one was to obtain the Ladder of the Stars, one could reach one of the moons, if not all of them, but it would still take an exceptionally long time and a very brave soul to do it.
Vespera is like quite enthralled by that story. Maybe one day, huh, Lotharian? We can reach the moon?
Perhaps when we have less pressing matters. By the way, I do have something to tell you when we are in private.
Tell me.
Out of game, are we in private now?
We're here.
She turns to you and she speaks into your mind, Lotharian, and she says, Tell me.
We have recovered one of the fragments of Israel's prophecy.
Do you have it with you?
I do not let it out of my sight.
I should seek to examine it before you leave. I would wish
Of
to
course.
make a copy of this. Do you wish us to store it on your behalf?
I would need to discuss it with my companions first.
Of course, that makes sense. I would not take it from you without their express permission.
Of course. However, making a copy I do not believe would pose an issue.
Very well. We shall proceed with this when we have time.
Of course.
All right. She withdraws from your mind.
Oh, God.
Okay. Alrighty then. So, just for fun, here's another map I pulled up. I'll drag you over to this one. Boop, there we go. This is the room that you are taken to next.
Wow.
Fancy.
You know, why not?
Yeah.
Show the audience. Just because.
Just because.
You know, what's the point of making maps if you don't get to show them off? Right. Yes. So typically this is where she hangs out, and there's this lovely mosaic on the floor. You can sort of get the idea of the aesthetics that this place is like. And you can see the trees growing in through from outside, through the archways that go out into the gardens beyond. And she says, well, now that you are here and we have achieved that, what would you like to do? Allow me to escort you about, perhaps?
I'm looking around for it, like the perfect tree.
Right. Well,
Perhaps.
there are better trees outside. I think you notice some bigger trees outside.
Mhm.
Um, and there's one in the middle of the central garden. I let me find you.
I know you're looking for something, but Lotharian would say, perhaps you could show us the tree where the golden apple appeared.
Of course.
Yes, please. A tree that grows fruit made of gold? How odd. Like there is no need for gold in nature. It exists. It but
It
it
refers to a
seems a bit
story
strange.
of
Hmm.
the elder times. The story harkens back to. She tells you a story about the Seldarine and the golden apple and some shit, which I haven't yet made up, but she tells you it anyway. So you
Ah,
have to.
that's wonderful.
That
What a
wonderful
beautiful
story.
story.
Oh, do you have inspiration?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, I think I tell you what she says. Actually, she says, "Before I take you to the tree, I think that first we shall find you some accommodations, and then you shall have refreshments. I myself am required to perform some adorations of the lunar cycle. That will take
Is
me perhaps an hour, and then we shall reconvene for a feast."
Very well.
is that a cleric thing? I look, I am one. So my god is my god is Lathander,
I
and
recognize the symbol of Lythander that you carry. Yes, I
mm,
understand that you believe and worship in the solar deity of the mortals.
yes,
Of course. We have.
it's
It is interesting. Solanor here, he is the god of such things as hunting and archery, and I myself connect him to Lythander in so many ways. The arrow as a symbol of the arrow of light, directness, and its piercing nature. So many connections to Lythander.
do you mind if I join you? I want to see how you
Worship,
worship. Thank you.
of course.
Um,
You are most welcome to watch some of our rites. Others are private, I must admit. We may even teach you many of them if you wish to learn more, and there are places of study and worship about. We turn none away from most of our ceremony, but we have initiations within the order that are closed to the public and to others. These initiations are closed in the way that perhaps you will understand that a story or a good book is to be read from the beginning and to the end, and not from the end to the beginning.
well, I'll give it a shot. I'm a bit flighty, and that's because I grew up as a druid, and normally, um, nature holds power. Um, but I want to know more. So I'll do my best to stay as focused as possible until I get distracted by a butterfly or something.
Of course, I understand.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just looking for a map of Solanor Temple.
You don't want to join, Lister? No? Okay. All right then.
Alright, well, the baby dragon has climbed up on your shoulder now, Lissa, and is looking around, and it seems quite happy to be here. And it seems to be kind of interested in looking around at the various art and things that you see. And another thing that you notice as you go into the Megaron is the stained glass that Avery mentioned earlier, because most of you will have never even have seen glass of any type. And so stained glass, these amazing stained glass images on the ceiling that portray the day of Pakard, the striking of the moon, the first moon smashed into 7 pieces, and all of the pieces breaking off and becoming this kind of circle, kind of like a celestial circle about the world. So that whole story is played out above you in stained glass, and the light through that fills the room with this majestic aura. Now.
Oh, that's beautiful. I've never seen anything like that. What about you, Storm? You've been here before, right?
Very pretty. So,
Look,
how?
baby dragon. Look at all the colors.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
So here's another map, which
Yeah,
is the actual temple itself on a larger scale.
Huh.
I think just Lotharian's enjoying everyone's reaction to the glass.
Right, fair enough. Okay, so you get taken through the temple to, I think it is. Where are they?
Should we get something like this down that tour guide, everyone?
Here are the
Maybe that's
barracks.
asking too much.
This is the building that you get brought out to.
Where is that?
Hang on, I'll give you a shift ping.
Ah, right, okay. Here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get taken inside there, and they give you an area where each of you has a room, and these 4 rooms are connected by a court. What do you call
Courtyard?
it? A courtyard, thank you. And in the center of the courtyard, there is a tree. Funny enough, that grows up through the ceiling, through the gap in the ceiling that goes out to the sky. So
The spirit instantly runs to hug it.
Okay, that makes sense. Can you make a perception check, please?
Okay.
I was like, hey, I did really good, and then I'm seeing everybody else's.
Yeah,
I did
right.
better than the Storm, though.
You did better than
Hey.
Storm. Storm got an 11.
Storm is blind today. What's happening?
Storm is a bit overwhelmed. I don't know what's up with Storm.
Overwhelmed with the
Probably
the
just
glass?
like probably memories of last time he was in the city.
Could be.
They weren't good ones because I lost smoke last time I was in this city.
That's true. That is true.
This area we're in, is this one of the what would normally be a mercenary barracks?
The mercenary barracks are actually, funnily enough, over here.
Okay.
So, and I know
Interesting.
that you know about the mercenary barracks, but yeah. And you can see that there are pools of water around the place, big pools with statues. Over here is these are the stables up here. Lisa, you might be interested to know. They have stables.
Yeah.
Horses, would you think?
This tower here is one of the tallest towers. It's narrow and spindly, and there's this platform that goes up to it. And then these towers here and here are connected by a bridge that's about 3 or 4 floors above the ground. This bridge here is raised up and kind of arches across from one side to the other. And here is the main gate. This is a massive gate, and it is guarded by a phalanx of paladins who are all female elves, dressed in identical suits of armor, full plate, visors, the works. And you get a bit of a tour around here. Around the back there is this area they call the Sally Port, which is in here. This area here is kind of shut off from the rest of the place. I'll show you a close-up of that. So this is basically the back door to the temple, and this is the main gate that comes in there. And this pathway leads up and around, and then there's another. You can go under this bridge here, but again, these are guarded, and it's all walled in. But the back of here is it there? No. I'm trying to remember where the entranceway is to the Undercroft. But anyway, it's around here somewhere. This is where you bring in wagons and stuff, and they do like trade and all of their supplies and stuff coming through this back door kind of area. Anyway, none of that's particularly important. What are we driving at? What are we doing? Where are we going? What's our primary port of call here?
I think basically, yeah, we just
getting lost in maps.
I think we explore the temple. Probably spend the hour wandering around the temple or resting.
Yep. Okay. Oh, the barracks. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get taken to some barracks. You've got your rooms. You can see the tree. Oh, you made a perception check. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So Vespera and Lissa, and Lotharion, you notice that there's a raven up in that tree towards the top, and it hops over to the rooftop as Vespera races into the tree. And then it goes, ah! And it flies off.
Rock yourself.
Do
so
I
rude.
notice anything odd about that raven?
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Did you all see that?
Yes.
Seems rather unusual behavior for a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Birds are more complex than you think.
I am quite certain, however, I do have concerns, but that is another matter.
And this is the
That
map of
ravens
Vega.
would crawl and not fly.
Wow. So Lotharion, you mentioned that you were engaged. Is
Is
she, or he here?
I would be very surprised if she is here. It was totally political. Given my situation, it is entirely possible our families have broken it off. I have not been in contact with anyone in my family other than Io in some time, and frankly, I did not wish to bother her on the subject.
Well, maybe it's worth having a chat to Io about that.
I will certainly ask her, however, I do feel there are more pressing matters for us to discuss when we have time.
You always say that, Lotharion.
Because,
Come over here. Come over
because
here.
personal isn't the same as important.
I'm going to go over to Lotharion. Come on. Come on, hug the tree with me. Let's go. Hug the tree.
Coralon, how did I end up in this mess? He says under his breath.
Hug the
Hey,
tree.
Storm, which one's a good one to climb?
Okay, he very reluctantly hugs the tree.
But I also hug the tree. There you go.
Come on, help me climb the tree.
This one,
It's like old
honestly,
times.
this one looks like it would be a good one to climb. That's what
That's
you're
right.
after. I don't know.
Anyway,
Okay. So while you are waiting at the barracks, there is a knock, or rather a bell, that rings just outside the main door to your barracks, your specific barracks.
Oh, no. So much for climbing the tree.
Lotharion goes and answers it.
He's sick and tired of hugging the tree. I get it.
There is a cleric there who stands outside. She looks quite humble. Despite having some armor on, her armor looks more ceremonial than anything. And she says, "Forgive me, apologies for my intrusion. I am Iamanth.
How may I be of service?
I've been sent here at the behest of Lady Iolanthra Imdrael, our Solanor Temple Seneschal. She has informed me that there is one among you who is interested in learning our ways and rights.
Oh, that's me over here. Is that okay? Is that all right? Do you mind?
You would be the one known as Vespera, then?
That is me. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Most
I am a
excellent.
cleric of Lathander, but mainly I'm a druid.
A druid and a cleric. What an interesting path to take. Well,
Yes.
perhaps I can teach you some things about the Seldarine and our teachings here. Those of you that are interested may follow.
I will follow. Look back.
I think Lotharion just quietly tells Iamanth that he will be at the shrine to Carlon.
Of course. Anybody else? No?
Well, Alyssa, that leaves you and me.
Yep.
Right.
Us again.
Yes.
First shot
Aw.
we do. And the dragon.
Oh, yes, the baby dragon. Anyway, what shall we do? Shall we find an inn?
An inn? You know of an inn around here?
I know some of them.
You behave yourself this time?
I always behave myself. It is you I worry about.
Me?
Couldn't possibly
Yeah.
think.
Why are you worried about me? I behave myself.
Are you going to watch this ritual? Are you?
No.
No? Oh well. Then I have much to learn. I still want to go to an inn. I want to go to an inn. You want to go to an inn?
I'll join you in the inn.
Okay. Come on, let's go.
Let's tuck the little one in. Alright,
Oh.
in you go.
I mean, you're probably supposed to be eating dinner in like half an hour, but okay.
Well, they can get wasted first and then
Uh,
enjoy
they're-
the food later.
They're splitting the party, but okay.
Mhm.
Not gonna get wasted.
Well, as you get to the gates, one of the Daughters of Twilight, who is guarding the gates, asks you who you are. Greetings, guests.
Greetings.
Greetings.
May I ask what your business is here at the gate?
I plan to go to an inn.
I'm
I
with him.
understand that you are our guests here of this evening, and we are unfortunately unable to allow access to the gate at present. I've been informed that our guests must be kept together for now, and that there is a feast planned and a discussion. Time is apparently of the essence.
Well, if there's a feast, I have no need for an inn. Well, so much for that idea. Let's go.
Okay. So much for seeing the city.
Very nice temple, though.
Yes, it is.
Very nice, yes.
I kind of figure we can go sightseeing next week.
Next week. We're not going to be here till next week, are we?
I was out of game. Sorry, my hand was kind of a bit low.
Okay.
Kind of little sightseeing.
Besides, Lotharion's not even there. How could he be talking to you? Is a storm hearing voices?
Handless.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
And voices.
Yeah.
Do you have the strange voice, Storm?
You know. Well, shall we go back to our room then?
Yeah. Hey, there's trees. We could. You can help me up a tree.
I thought you'd given up climbing trees. You're not a little girl anymore, you know.
Hey, I can relive my childhood when we first met.
All right, come on, let's go and hug the tree.
All right.
Hug a tree. That's what we'll be so proud of us for hugging trees.
If you tell anybody that I hugged a tree, I will eat you.
You eat me.
All right,
Oh,
come on, let's go and hug trees.
Okay, so cutting a long story short, Vespera, the core things that you learn from Iamantha as you are wandering around with her, and she shows you the different groups of clerics and paladins performing rituals. You learn that they have a ritual called the Heart of the Twin Suns, which is a daily ceremony they perform in honor of their patron deity, Corellon Lorathian. This ritual symbolizes the eternal harmony and balance found within the dual aspects of the sun, which, of course, in Sidariel has been divided into two parts. This reinforces their connection to Corellon's divine influence over the cycle of day and night. The practices involve gathering once each day to unite the heart of the two suns, Primum Solum and Pingal, Solum Pingal. They do the adorations of the remnant moons, because there are 7 moons. Daily performances of 7 short adorations, each dedicated to one of the remnant moons, which hold profound significance in elven astrological tradition. The purpose is to connect the Daughters of Twilight with the cosmic energies of the remnant moons, enhancing their spiritual connection with the natural world and celestial forces. This practice is simple yet powerful, and these verses are spoken while facing the direction of the respective moon, corresponding to the sacred locations such as the pillar, the watchtower, the altar, the high arch, the sanctum, the gatehouse, and the steps. They speak of a convocation that they perform, but they don't give you too many details about it, except to say that it's a monthly sacred gathering of the Daughters of Twilight at their respective temples. This event lasts for 7 mystical hours and includes astral communication with enchanted mirrors and pools of water, so they connect all the temples together once a month through this convocation. Their philosophical doctrines basically include the following. Unbalanced power is oppression. Core teaching, power must be balanced to avoid becoming oppressive. The teaching stresses the importance of maintaining equilibrium in all aspects of life. Unbalanced mercy is weakness. The core teaching is that mercy must be tempered with strength. Excessive mercy can lead to vulnerability and exploitation. Hence, a balance is crucial. Sehenin's path of reflection. Sehenin Moonbow teaches self-reflection as a path to enlightenment. This involves meditating, journaling, and ceremonies deeply symbolic of the elven language and culture. These practices include meditation and reverie, and of course you learn that elves have this thing called the reverie, which you can't do because you're not an elf. This aims for unity with the spirit and the goddess and the god. Cultivation, core teaching, cultivation of oneself leads to perfection. This is achieved through conscious reflection, meditation, ceremony, aligning with the divine principles set forth by Corellon and Sehenin. Key practices, ceremony and rituals, these are essential to the Daughters of Twilight, fostering a deep connection with their deities and reinforcing their spiritual discipline. Daily adorations, monthly convocations, the Heart of the Twin Suns ritual are integral to their religious life. Reflection, significance, basically encourages self-knowledge and wisdom. Understanding one's own emotions and motivations is seen as crucial for spiritual growth. Regularly journaling and meditation sessions to reflect on personal experiences and their broader spiritual significance. So this is what she kind of goes through in that hour.
Okay, right.
So that's what you learn. And as you know, I've posted you a document that you can use if you're interested in pursuing any of that.
Right, yeah. When Vespera gets back to everyone, she's going to yawn. She's been holding it in for like an hour.
What kind of cleric is Vespera?
She is one that appreciates nature.
So she's a druid.
She's a practical cleric. Instead of like doing rituals, she is more likely to sit with nature, and
so she's a lazy cleric.
Kinda. But I mean, she's druid first. So
Russell, just a technical question.
Yes, sir.
Is Mother alive or dead?
You don't know.
No, I just needed.
hello everyone. That was really interesting, but there was a lot of sitting around, and it was pretty, but I still don't quite understand it.
It is quite
Maybe-
a lot to take in.
Maybe you should go again.
Oh, maybe I should give it a moment.
In any event, I believe there is a feast planned.
Right, and so thusly, at the end of all of this hour passes, you are united with the other clerics, and they take you through to the great halls, where you are invited to participate in a feast. In order to do so, you must walk through a pool of water that should cleanse you spiritually. And so you walk down into it one at a time, and the Daughters of Twilight perform a rite as you step down into the water and out the other side, and they dry you and give you nice shoes to wear.
Thank you.
And things like that. And then you go through to the feast hall, and I think we should end there, really.
Yeah. That was cool. I like that.
Cool. Well, thank you for
We're in
playing
Vangate.
tonight. You're in Vangate. You've
We
Yeah.
are in Vangate.
We are the New Vangate Chronicles.
yeah, right now. And actually, you've got heritage here because Storm was from the Vangate Chronicles.
Yep.
So it kind of is
Full circle.
full circle. And this is, for Storm, wow, it is full circle. Barry, this was your first stream, was at this very temple.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should go raid somebody. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching and hanging out with us and listening to us, particularly me, droning on about rituals and elven magic and shit.
My bad.
And there you go. Now you know that that's all very deeply documented.
Yeah.
So we should raid. Yeah. Who shall we raid tonight?
Robert?
Is he operating? Probably. He almost always is.
Yeah. Don't know how he manages it.
Well, yeah, he probably gets paid more than I do.
Okay.
Same category. Let's see, D&D.
Do not know.
Gary Con Live. Let's raid those guys.
Yeah, they got like 15 people.
Yeah. All right, starting the raid. Okay, so we've got 8 seconds, so quick goodbye. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodbye.
Yep, check out the doobly-doos, do the links below, all that stuff. Say hello to the raiding place that you're going, Gary Con Live. And I've got to go to bed or something, probably. That's probably not true. I'm not going to go to bed. I'm going to stay up all fucking night
You
'cause,
woke up at like 11.
It's true. It's true. If I feel tired,
You would be up at like,
I just need coffee.
that's 11 hours.
All right, guys. You have a great night. Thank you.
Yep.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.